Finally, after what happened yesterday, a lot of questions remain unanswered, I feel, on the tariff side of things. We'll get 30 days for both Mexico and Canada to come to what Trump said at the end of the day yesterday, an economic deal. He first says it's about the border and then says at the end of the deal, it's an economic deal that they're going to look to make. So here we are, back to about 0.25% right now for the NASDAQ in positive territory. Ton of things moving around here. Individual stocks, Palantir, an absolute monster through the highs almost right now, actually, from after the close yesterday. 104 and change was that high. We're testing that right now. There was no downtick. It was just straight to the upside for PLTR. Great report for them. MicroStrategy had a great day yesterday. Another one we'll keep an eye on today. Gapping down a little bit here with Bitcoin. There's other earnings to keep an eye on. More to come tonight. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. The three biggest earnings days. We'll get Google, we'll get AMD after the close tonight. Those are two of the bigger ones. Snapchat as well. A few things to look forward to here. But it feels a little more calm.
Yeah.
Right now.
For now.
Anyways. Yeah. Wait an hour and things may change. But, I mean, wow, what a day it was yesterday. A ton of volatility back in the market, which is, let's be honest, great for us.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that the tariffs were taken off from Canada and Mexico until I got home yesterday. I mean, I didn't really realize that. By the time I left here, it had still been in place. Then you wake up this morning and there's retaliatory tariffs from China. We'll get more into those. Lots to talk about today, Brendo. SMCI gapping up. We'll keep an eye on Bitcoin as well, dropping below 100,000. As I mentioned, China in focus. And then Google not only reporting earnings today, but now they're going to get investigated by the Chinese government for anti-competitive practice. PayPal will blow at earnings. And how can we forget about Palantir? Wowzers.
Yeah, strong to say the least. SMCI kind of interesting today as well. A ton of volume here. It's already coming off a lot after the close yesterday, coming out with a date that they're going to talk about something. So we get a date and we get a huge move up to $30 here for SMCI. It's still up nicely, but coming off back to $28 right now, guys. Good morning.
SMCI.
Yeah, SMCI, man.
I don't think we care about SMCI today.
That's crazy, SMCI.
Nah, it's not that crazy. What's crazy is 104.20. Is it really at 420? Of course it's at 420. Every time I look over, I see 420 on stuff. Palantir just hit 420. I got to update my futures contract, but Palantir just hit 104.20, now 25% to the upside. So what's that? 160% better than the expected move, I believe. So, but 60% better than the expected move. Obviously, a bit of a continuation play today, I'd say.
The stock is up 45% since we talked about buying it on that day when we picked what stocks to do. Yesterday, we talked about on the show. I said the play for this stock would be lotto calls. I put in the chat. We talked about it yesterday. I mean, there's the break, right? Sharif asked me in the middle of the day, what do we do? You guys were asking in the chat, what do we do with Palantir shares? I just said, just offer $99.50. My bad. I mean, you might have missed $5 there. Yeah, we didn't get out of anything. We got out of a small little piece there at the end of the day, just in case something had gone wrong. And gone wrong. Yeah, look, I mean, 64% increase in the commercial side of the business. That's exactly the number that we were talking about. I was saying, I'm not the number, but that's the number that we're looking for. I didn't know what the number could be, but you know, we knew the government was going to support this name, and now you get the commercial side of things as well, plus a guide higher. I mean, this name is not going to be slowing down. The valuation is horrible. I mean, it's just continues to go up, up, up and away. But at the end of the day, they're making money, and people are paying for companies that, I mean, look, we were talking about Rigetti. We're going to talk about a bunch of other names here that don't make anything and have moves. Palantir, I mean, this... May it be a top? I mean, we could get faded out there. It is, as Neil said, well increased on what we had thought was going to happen. It was 14%. So you're getting almost 100% greater than that on the volatility. I do the same play all the time. It's going to be the #1 call on here. It's a play back to VWAP. I was saying, let's see what happens around 97, 98, if that's going to be something. But man, oh man, like... I mean, Palantir, it's been quite the ride. It just obviously just wish you had more shares near those lows, but there it goes up. This is the first time, like, this is like a pretty good, this is for me, it's like right now it's a 10 bagger. So I don't know if you guys, what everybody's situation is or anything like that, but it's a really nice move to the upside here. And I think it goes higher. I wouldn't have made this as a pick down here, you know, whatever that day was, whatever 9th or something. That was $70. I came here and said that it was my pick for the year, and there it goes back up to the upside. So yeah, pretty interesting day there for PLTR shareholders. We like to say thank you to Alex Karp, and yeah, it's been quite the trade. So we'll wait to see. But playing dips at this point, I do want to break out long on the top breaks, but you know it's breaking tops right now.
Yeah, that 105.
Who knows what's going to be in an hour?
It already busted through there was like a 104 that it just ate the shares up on. Like if the even dollars have been completely gone on this, and it doesn't forget about size on the offer. That's the other thing too. It's done like 9 million shares volume. There you go. The 9 million shares of volume, and that's not including anything on ours before like 6 a.m., which it was doing volume before that. So you've already breached the 10 million mark. Just for reference, NVIDIA has done half that, and NVIDIA is the most. You know, that's the most liquid and the most traded stock in the market. So obviously, you're not going to care too much about size on this. I think the over under 100. When it got in the aftermarket show, like right before we were ending, you could see it trying to make that test to the $100 level. Like that was the second place where it had a bit of a crest. 96 was the other. So I'm staring down that 100 as a nice over under level. I feel like if it loses 100 psychologically, I wouldn't want to fight underneath that price, especially given the size of the gap, let's just say. Because if it loses 100, who knows where the dip will be at? I think you have to look for some kind of a mean revert, but I like that 100 level, if we can even get it at this point.
I'm going long through 105, so just a small bit there. I think that there's going to be a lot of exuberance into this name off the open, especially traders that bet short on that are going to get rolled. So yeah, 105. Let's try it for a very, very small piece there, like 1 unit or something, and we'll see what winds up happening here through that one. But yeah, I mean, playing dips, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. It's been quite a good little run here in the market as we try to get back to highs. We'll see what the Qs can do. NASDAQ up 0.22 right now, and yeah, it all depends on, you know, what names you're invested in, right? We had some Apple weakness over the last couple of days there, 227 coming through today. Again, for Apple down 0.35. So that's kind of like, you know, you see the big fade off that the 50-period moving average. So, you know, down goes Apple. So there's some names that continue to be a little bit worrisome. And then, you know, Tesla has its roller coasters days. It's nice to see this one up here today and starting to take a little bit of a northbound take here because, again, with tariffs, looks like we're going to get that 30-day extension, as we just mentioned earlier on. That seems like this is going to mean something. So looks like right there, the gap down on bad news, basically. And then it looks like we're trying to make that gap back upside there on some good news. So Tesla giving us some good bottom areas of 383 and change from yesterday. We'll see if those can hold out as well. So, yeah, there's some big, I mean, SMCI. I'm also on, we did have a good trade yesterday, I think, on FXI. So going the other way with the tariffs. We were going short yesterday, and today we're going to go look long here as China tariffs and talks are back on there. So, and then what's Bitcoin doing? 99 and change.
Much.
What does that mean for IBIT though? Because where did IBIT go out at yesterday? IBIT went out at probably 103, 104. Yeah. So yesterday the market went out around 102, 103, I believe it was. So a little bit of a pullback down in there today for IBIT. So yeah. And then Rigetti.
Well, Rigetti,
I'm trying to think about what to add as a last.
There's a bunch in play. Like it's hard not to. Everyone saw Rigetti yesterday in the afternoon, like that break away from 13. So this is going to be a long. Obviously, yesterday we talked about $12, and then it ended up holding 13 a little bit later. So you had to pull back off the 12 level, then you had to break away from 13. If it gets even halfway, like this 13.4, we closed at 13.5. I want to go dip and rip. Just keeping in mind that Rigetti, most mornings, with the exception of Friday, like usually it has some kind of a dip at the open, especially when it's going to be a bit of a gap up play. So I'm looking for that dip and rip on Rigetti as well. So that should be an interesting one. I actually just don't believe SMCI is on our watch list, but I really don't trust that gap up on SMCI. It's just a matter of It's already come back so far. I'm not even sure there's going to be a short on it, but they just announced that they're reporting results next week. They won't call it earnings, but they just say they're reporting and have a conference call next week. So that'll be the results. But Yeah, I don't trust that gap up on SMCI today. I don't know if I'd fade it. I was kind of hoping it would be at the 30 level where there was some big sellers before, but if it's not going to be there, might just have to ignore SMCI till we get more clarity on that one.
Agreed.
Quick note on our friends over at Worksport with a release here this morning. WKSP briefly getting back above $1 there. Brand new shipments of their flagship tonneau cover, this product, on the back of trucks on the way to customers currently. Company also planning on ramping up production after positive feedback from their customers. So as I mentioned, quickly got above $1 there, back downside right now for WKS, S as in Sam, P. We were just talking a little bit about Tesla and Kathy Wood specifically on CNBC this morning, saying by 2030, autonomous taxis specifically for Tesla could generate $34 trillion in enterprise value.
It's a lot, Brendo.
It's also very specific, though, which is...
She chose not to round.
What's the calculation?
I have no idea.
It's so crazy.
God love her. I mean, I think she's obviously very ambitious, very intelligent woman. We'll have to see how this all thing works out. We're expecting for that to be launched this year in Austin and I believe in Los Angeles or San Francisco. I'm not really sure which jurisdiction in California. We'll keep an eye on that. But what I really took from today with Tesla was the fact that China chose not to retaliate, at least initially, Brendo, against Tesla, against Apple. Those have a lot more skin in the game in China than does Google. I felt this was a bit of a shot across the bow, a warning sign. Don't, extend this more than it is because...
We'll come after Elon.
That's the thing, right? So nothing for Tesla so far. It's green on the day. I expected maybe some rumblings. We saw yesterday that Elon was flexible. So when the tariffs on North America or on Canada and Mexico were still in place, you heard Elon say he could possibly bring in the Model Y from Europe, from Berlin, to kind of skirt around tariffs that Canada would probably place on imports from the United States. So Tesla in focus today. I mean, it's going to be in focus with these tariffs, Brendo, how they retaliate and which countries retaliate against it because of his association, too, with Donald Trump.
I mean, Elon's so popular in China, too.
He is. That's the thing.
That's the other
good point.
part of this equation. So, I mean, 1% right now. Not a bad look here after a big down day here for Tesla yesterday.
Yeah, look, obviously it's gapping with the rest of the market, but it is stronger than the market this morning. That's a good thing. Obviously the market's not doing a heck of a lot. Yes, it's dead flat. Yeah, dead flat, and NQ's up just very, very slightly. But the thing about the bounces on Tesla, it's been holding this 375, but they've been getting more and more shallow each time we bounce off that level. If I zoom out, you can maybe see the 200 if it wants to load. I guess it'll get there eventually. No, but this is at 375. And as long as we're this close to it, I think that's where the long has been, obviously, on Tesla. Yesterday, the way that it hugged the 50-period moving average above it, I was kind of feeling like that would be our short area. It never got to the 400 spot. So with those lower highs coming in on Tesla, just got to be able to extend the range a bit. But with the strength, I want to wait. Ideally, at the open, there is a press back into that 400. But the way I see it, since it's been bouncing off 375, the highs have been lower highs all the way through. It was at 420 the last time. Eventually, it got to a local top. So today, I'd look for something underneath that. It'll be 400 till proven otherwise. And if it never breaks out 390, maybe I look for a short lower. But nothing's really changed for me on Tesla, just looking at that daily chart. If it can break and start holding above that 50 period again, then I would care a little bit more about the longs on Tesla.
Look, yesterday Tesla was the show's #1 traded stock. It was a short there off of $400. It was a #1 idea here on the sticky note. And yeah, I mean, that turned out to be pretty good. I like Tesla being up 1% here today. I'm going to be a little more aggressive on this play right here. I think this 385 is the call. I'm putting it out right now. The sticky note will be out in a second. I think this 385 dipped down into VWAP, into the 200 period, into the 50 period moving average. I think it's worth trying something there. I like the tariff talk. I mean, it's going to benefit Tesla. We saw them make that move down. We already sort of had that talk there today. And then you do get that Cathie Wood bump, which is nice to see. That's not that much. I would have thought it would have been a bit more than that. So pull back into VWAP. Let's trade this as if there's some kind of catalyst, which appears to be with it, up and the market's flat. So I like that trade. So yeah, for me, Tesla is going to be on the sticky note there, and it's going to be a pretty easy one for me to see. And yeah, we can play off 385. And then if it breaks, like, you don't even have to hold this one that far, like $2 into 383, it's fine. And then if you really want to hold it into 381, 380, fine. But for me, probably a quick out into the 383 area, but definitely worth $2 all day long on Tesla 385.
All right, another one to the downside here this morning. INTC a little bit worse off than the others mentioned in that China note. China regulators actually specifically pointing at Intel, going to further investigate this. There's actually more just coming out about this right now. So Intel trying to bounce off 1915, 1920, but giving about 50% of yesterday's gains back here already.
Yeah, Brendo, good point there. So China is looking, China's State Administration for Market Regulation announced on Tuesday, obviously, that it had opened an investigation into Google, but also said to be the focus is going to be Intel, possibly, and NVIDIA. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how that all plans out. We know that NVIDIA already has huge export restrictions on what they can send to China, despite the fact that they tried to make China-specific GPUs. Those now are the focus of more export bans possibly coming in from the new administration. But the one that you just pointed out there, Intel, is the one that's novel to me, already down 1%. So we're going to have to keep an eye out on this one. Interesting here.
We had some relative strength yesterday from quantum names, back higher again this morning here as well, almost 5% for Rigetti through $14. Just took out highs there, came back in a little bit, but not a lot of volume behind this move so far. But they were among the first to get back to positive on the late session anyways, into the afternoon and after the close yesterday for RGTI. A little bit of follow through here so far this morning.
So far, so good for them. Just one note on that. I know there was a note about Intel being down 1%, but Marvell here has fallen a little bit at in the pre-market into the open, like 4% down. It was actually almost 5% down a minute ago. Not really seeing a specific headline. Could be they could be catching a little bit of a stray there. But yeah, worth monitoring here. Marvell doesn't usually move, obviously, like this in the pre-market. But as it comes to Rigetti, we're sort of going over this one before. Like it's been holding the $12 level, and as long as you see patterns like this, you kind of just want to buy the bottoms. It was a mean reversion play off the lows because it did a very, very big fall at the open. Let's do like a 3-minute chart here. Yeah, like it was a very distinct move to the downside for Rigetti. So when it finally got to the 12, you basically had a couple of trend reversions, and then to the upside. Standard longs after that, like it gave you a good VWAP bounce. It gave you a nice consolidation off 13 to go. So anything resembling that pattern, want to look continuation long. It's done a few million shares volume. Obviously, it's not going to do Palantir volume today, but who is? Maybe NVIDIA catches them. Not even sure about that. But Rigetti dips back into this 13.5. I'll just look for another trend revert. And what that's going to look like is simple, like allow it to sort of trend down, break the trend, take your shot, trend down, break the trend, and then give it to the prior low. So that's the entry that I'm looking for this morning on Rigetti, whether it's at the pre-market lows. I definitely like the 13.4, but if it doesn't get there, you need an entry strategy. And I'll just look for any trend reversion on dip with Rigetti. And that's the one I like to trade. It's, went around and when this first started, QBTS was okay, and you could sort of hop from one to the other. But eventually, it was just pretty clear Rigetti was always doing the best volume and always giving the best move. So hasn't been much of a point of looking at the other ones recently.
All right, look, I'm on it, but again, just on it a little bit more aggressive there. $13.80 to $14 is the long for Rigetti. So we've made, I've traded this name quite well and willing to do it one more time. So here it comes right back into these pre-market lows, into that high from yesterday. I think the 1380 is, again, a no-brainer long area. So I'm going to take that 14 into 1380 right into there for Rigetti. If you're lucky enough to get that long, I think it's something that you take. So we're going to be there sitting to see if we can grab it. Again, still 50 minutes to go. Not that that's that much time, but you know, anything can happen. I don't think there's going to be a story that's coming out. You could probably sit around here. I'm just going to keep it on. I'm going to put some bids, you know, in and around VWAP, 1390, 1380, and just try to follow exactly that plan of action. So that's what we're going to do in and around this area, and then we'll figure out what happens when we get hit. Again, you don't want it to lose this 1340 area, so that's probably one last shot, and then, you know, you give it a couple more pennies other than that 1320 maybe as you're out. So, yeah, if you don't give this name 40, 50 cents, then I don't think you're trading it properly. So we'll wait to see what happens with Rigetti up another 5%. I still wish I had that long down there at $6. And you're welcome to everybody there in the chat. And what's up, Shaggy? Thanks for calling out Palantir years ago. You're now up 460%. So there you go, Shaggy. Good on you for holding on for that long. So congratulations to everybody that is in Palantir, and congratulations to everybody that's in Rigetti as well. I mean, Rigetti's no Palantir, but you know. We like Rigetti anyways. All right, so nice move there. I think Rigetti can get going, especially if there's Bill Gates talking about quantum and
can't hurt.
Stuff.
Can't
It's
hurt.
definitely an underinvested right now spot of the market. So, okay, let's get back to the desk.
Just real quick on Xpeng. We were talking about some of the Chinese names higher this morning. Off this tariff note, Xpeng just breaking to the downside here on decent volume, but this was reported late Friday into early Monday. 2025 deliveries coming in much higher than expected for January on a year-over-year basis, 30,350, 268% uptick. This is a decent gap for, I mean, Xpeng more so than the rest of them. Yes, they're all higher, but NIO 1.2% right now versus 6 here for Xpeng.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing a reason for why this is all happening here, Brendo. I'm assuming this has got to be tariff related. Not really sure how that all jives because these EVs are not, well, they're allowed to be sold in America. You just got to pay 100% tariffs on them. These Chinese-made EVs, so we'll keep an eye out on that. I think XPEV about 7%, NEO up as well, despite the fact that you're going to see NEO on the downgrades board in a second. It was up 2% when I put it on there. Lee Auto as well, Zeekr, Brendo. They're all moving. They're all gapping up.
One of those trades, though, it's worth mentioning, as we saw over the past couple of days with North American-related names, very headline-driven. Keep your eye out if anything else happens in this, in this forum over the next couple of hours here. We could see big changes coming up with China names.
China.
Yeah, what's up,
Randy?
Randy got the bananas going on here. How was the weekend? Was okay?
Weekend was good.
Okay, good. Yeah, a little bit of an extended weekend. We
Got
did.
snowed on yesterday.
Oh, you did? Oh man.
Yeah, it wasn't that. That's not that much.
I don't know.
Not that
Shovel
bad. No.
Yeah,
No, I will not.
We got winter. More winter? Too much winter?
It's February.
Anybody want some
Winter.
winter?
I feel like
I'll ship it to you.
I feel like we haven't had that much winter.
Come out my way.
I know.
Compared to last year, it's because last year there was no shoveling.
We've got a foot and a half of snow at
whatsoever.
home. It's not
Yeah,
fun.
it looks nice outside right now.
I
But
like
it's a little
the
bit wet now. It was 0. It's 32 degrees or whatever Fahrenheit right now. 0 degrees.
Yeah, it was too warm yesterday because the kids came home and their snow pants were all like my daughter and her friend. They were just soaked because obviously it was like wet snow because it was above 0 yesterday.
Good for making snowmen.
That's true. Good building weather.
Coffee too.
Randy came and no music
Always.
chime. Yeah, Randy needs like a music, like an entrance theme.
Well,
That
there's-
is fine.
there's
yes,
that.
But I want like an entrance theme, like a wrestler.
No, like like the John Cena intro.
Yeah, something like
Or better.
that's pretty good. Figure it out. I like that. Oh, you want a little bit of foof? Oh, we got to figure out this whole fair play thing.
Yeah, you got to be careful because there's only a couple seconds that you can play.
But yeah, you guys want to talk a little bit about China? I mean, we have, I've written down here on FXI. Again, I think positive tariff talk again. We had this trade yesterday. We had it short at 31.80 until it broke it, which was right there. So it came right back in. We had to short this move up, and then we were able just to get out on this barcode and then pop to the upside. So it was just a cup of coffee yesterday. Not a huge trade, but a green trade at the end of the day. But look where we stopped. This is why we're going to try to buy this level. So we didn't get too much above 32. Now today you're above 32. So I'm just going to play with yesterday's area there. and see if it holds. So that's the bid area. I wrote down between 32 to 31.80. I'm starting the buying. I think I have a bid. I do have a bid at 32.05. So if it comes back into this area, we'll try it. We saw just an aggressive move. Like I was too wrong early yesterday on this, and we were just too early on it. At the end of the day, if we had waited for the right, I mean, I have it right here. We wrote down here 31.80. Like we actually wrote that price down on yesterday's sticky note, and then there it is right here, 31.80 came right in off of there, right? So there's the trade. There's why we wrote it down. So today it's the same thing. There's 32. So let's bid and see if it does fall back into that area, and then we'll take that long into 32 bucks. And then we'll play it from there. All right, let's go find out, as Adara's waiting, for upgrades and downgrades and see if there is any Chinese-related names. I don't know.
There actually is one. We're going to start here with the upgrade side of things. Palantir getting an upgrade from a lot of analysts, but Morgan Stanley here with a $95 price target and an upgrade. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives also raised his price target for the stock to $120. We have Tyson Foods here. They reported earnings yesterday morning. Today, they're getting an upgrade from Piper Sandler. MasterCard, another recent earnings name with an upgrade from DZ Bank. And last but not least, on the upgrade side of things, Juniper, which we know was on watch last week after HPE's acquisition attempt of the company was blocked. Juniper today, though, getting an upgrade from Evercore ISI. On the downgrade side of things, here is the Chinese ADR. It's going to be NEO. Actually up on the day, but downgraded here by JP Morgan Chase with a $4.70 price target. Autoliv here downgraded by HSBC Securities. UBS downgrading Calumet, and Jefferies Financial downgrading all these guys.
JP Morgan just kicking it when it's down on NEO there. Like Xpeng's the one that's moving. I think obviously if you're going to trade something, like let it be doing something. Xpeng tends to, for a while now, if you're looking at the Chinese EVs, that's been the one to trade, at least the ones that trade here. At some point, I guess this could break out, like that 50 period here. You got a long consolidation at 4 where you've been able to buy off the $4 level for, I guess, some small gains. This needs to take out 450 in a big way. Someday it'll happen. I think this is the kind of thing you just probably set an alert for. And then when you finally get to like 440, the high 440s, look for that breakout play on an IO. But, nothing's happening to it right now. Volume is pretty bad. I'm looking more for Chinese ADRs. I mean, Alibaba, like yesterday, Alibaba just ended differently from PDD. Like Alibaba they all pulled back, but PDD, and we're noting this in the afternoon show, like PDD dipped missing some data there, but PDD pulled all the way back into 105, failed underneath that 110, whereas I like what Alibaba did a little bit better, sort of holding this higher low at 98, which will be the spot. They do it on Friday, afternoon holds 98. That's about the one spot that I would like some Baba. Maybe even the 96, but you cross that bridge when you get there.
All right. Thank you, Randy.
Ooh, thanks, Randy.
With that one. Yeah, so I'll just go back over to Palantir again. I know we're going to talk about it. It's going to be on the watch list, but it's still, although trading, it's only done 11 million shares. I actually thought it would be doing a little bit more than that, but still, it's trading like it's open. So you could trade this right now if you did want to do that. That VWAP is now at 101.50. Looking to actually turn around a little bit here. We're now under the 50-period moving average. So the only bid that I have right now is at $100. Like, I'm not sure we even want to. I'm actually going to cancel. I'm going to cancel the bid. Like the Nasdaq's coming in right now pretty nicely off of that double or maybe even a triple top right here around this 21,500 or so, 21,480. So that move's coming in. Now, it looks like Palantir just got bought up. That's fine. But at the same time, it's getting a little nervous there. We did not break that 105. We did have the 105 in there for a break. Didn't happen, thankfully, so we don't have to worry about that for now. But there's the pullback into VWAP. So I think if you're going to buy anything right now, you want to test to see if VWAP holds. That's 101.28. And then there's your 200 period down there at $97, which is what we wrote down as an area to really think about if it comes back through. So Palantir in this little zone right there is a buy. So we can, just somewhere like in here. I don't know where exactly it will stop, but I think if you take some here, look at it again. So that would be my little call for PLTR as we wait to see what it winds up doing now. But yeah, 103 and change. And then on the imbalance locator, we don't have anything for NASDAQ until 25 minutes from now. But QBTS, quantum name is on there as well. Ford, I guess, you know, I mean, again, off the relief rally there from the tariff, you know, gets that little bump up. We'll see if it can hold on to that. Oklo, so some of these names, again, make sense. QBTS, Oklo's on there. Uber, 67. Okay, I'm glad that held that 66 area. That is for sure. And then Disney, 114. Okay, I think Disney's around a 119 area that we want to think about getting some out. Yeah, there it is right there, 118, 119. So Disney on a nice turnaround right there for Disney. Wait a minute, we don't have Disney earnings, right? We haven't had... Okay, tomorrow. Okay, good. Thanks, Adair. I was going to say, we haven't had them.
Big day
So there it is tomorrow. Yeah,
well,
earnings tomorrow, Wednesday, Feb 5th. So before market opens. So yeah, we'll see Disney tomorrow. So you'll get that. No wonder. All right, I was going to say Disney looking nice right there. This is looking like a good one heading into earnings, holding the 50-period moving average and starting to get back up. Yeah, I would say 118, 119 calls for Disney, probably something to take ahead of earnings right there. So... there he goes. This guy's up over 500%. What's up, Neo Lee on Palantir right there? Are those shares or calls? Oh, crypto alts have never been like that. Yeah, exactly. And Palantir's real. So the crypto is what it is. But there it is right there. Neo Lee is also up 500%. That's a whole bunch of you that are up a lot. I mean, it's been a great stock, and I think Palantir even goes higher. So, all right, let's go back over to the desk, and we'll get through this rundown.
Yeah, let's jump right in. We'll have a look at the market here to start things off.
6T22, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES March contract. We defended 6,000 despite the fact that we, dropped a little bit below. We were able to get back above that 6,000 point level. So here's the deal. We're using 6,000 today as support, and we're looking to that overnight high, 60.69 as resistance.
This time of year, always important to know what is happening in the pre-market. If you haven't done so, jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to the watch list sign-up page. All you need is your email address, and then you get that sent right to your inbox every single day with everything you need to know on it in the pre-market. Let's go. 23.18% here for Palantir. This number stood out to me in this report. 1.8 billion last year in contracts. A lot of those government contracts, obviously, that was up 73%. So, 10 million each across 30 plus of these contracts and more to come.
Fantastic look. What a breakout there. And as you said to begin the show, it didn't even drop. It just went in one direction. Let's talk about how they did. EPS, 14 cents. They beat. The street was looking for 11. Revenue, 828 million. They beat there handily. The street was looking for 776. Now, this is where it gets interesting, Fabian. The revenue growth breakdown. Q4 revenue surged 36%. But as Sean was talking about earlier, commercial revenue, 64% surge. Government revenue, which they've been relying for the majority of their revenue on, 45% boost. And they're now guiding their 2025 U.S. commercial sales projected to grow at an eye-watering 54%. Fantastic look all around. Palantir's CEO, Alex Karp, took to the call yesterday, basically said we're moving from theory to reality, putting this stuff in play, and the government partnerships continue to drive strong growth, Brendo. The stock's up 340% since the beginning of 2024. I think that's what it was up just in 2024, not even accounting for the move in the last month.
Yeah, not bad. I have to say, all these analyst notes this morning, there's a ton of them. They're a little bit behind here as far as pricing, I guess, for the stock is concerned. There's a couple above $100, but for the most part, 60 to 85. And a few of them sounding a little bit more cautious as well on the underperform side, but maybe raising a price target kind of thing. But for the most part, positive across the board.
It's like the Tesla effect. Like back in the day, you always had analysts when it was, when the valuations were like this, you had analysts basically always underneath. And well, a lot of them underneath. I shouldn't say all because there were plenty of people that were bullish on it. And it's pretty much the same effect. I like what T Money put in here because, when we're talking about that 100 level on Palantir, appreciate the super chat from you, T Money there. Put buy orders where most people would have their stop loss, a little smiley face. And really, it just comes down to trading at the, at the right levels. And certainly where people would want to stop out, or where people are likely to have stop outs, is a good place to look initially for like bounce spots. Now 100 being a pretty big psychological area, 100 being where it got to in the aftermarket. Obviously, it was holding out here a little bit in the pre-market for a while. That gives you an area. But if you use that logic and you go long, you don't necessarily want to have a stop at $99.99. That seems obvious to say. I think in that particular case, you're going to have to give that some room so that if people that have stop outs, you allow that to get wiped out for it to be able to bounce. So I think that's the initial look for myself down at that 100 level. And there are certain situations where I would have, stops right at the $100 level. This wouldn't be one of them, but those are usually very, very particular. In this particular case, I think you have to give it room around an obvious stop level to confirm that it's actually lost it. Because if it bounces, the high is 105. You got to be looking for a move back into the high, and that's $5 alone, let alone any kind of a continuation. So yeah, give it some room if you play off that 100 level, because it's an obvious place where they'd run stops.
So from the beginning of 2024 there, Palantir was $15. So now we start to go back to the upside. I got to set this to go through the northbound area there, but that's the Palantir chart. I just wanted to show you where we were at the beginning of 2024. Look, man, I mean, I don't know. Neil just said if it comes back to $100, we buy it. I mean, okay, that's fine. I mean, that would be nice. And then where's the stop? So if you're going to be waiting for 105 to go, let's just actually, get a plan here. Like, there's the move coming back down in. I think you got to wait to see if this flushes. I was going to start the bidding. I'm not even going to be bidding now down here at 100. I'm going to wait to see if something happens in and around this 97 to 98 to 99 area, like right into this area here. And look, if it flushes and it holds and then we can rip up, I'm going to be fine missing a couple dollars on this trade, to be honest with you. I'd like, and again, it depends on what share size you're playing with, what you're actually trying to make. We have different ideas on what we're trying to make and the share sizes. So for me, I think you got to be very, very patient. Like, I just can't go long at $100 because I do think that if it gets down here, it will come into this area. So how many shares then do you put there, right? I mean, I just think that maybe if you're going to play 10 units, maybe like 1 or 2 there, because I don't think it's going to hold 100 if it comes in. I think eventually it breaks it, then it rips back through it, and then that is your trade. So I think that's right. I mean, if you hold 100, as Neil was saying, I think you can get right back to that 105. So we always play on psychological levels, but I think if we get to 100, we do break it. So that for me would mean that let everybody flush out and sit somewhere in and around here to try to pick it up, or I already have this order in breaking this 105 to the long straight off the jump. That's like a 1 unit play, because remember yesterday for Google, we actually had a very similar situation here, except for I think Palantir could do it right off the open. Google didn't necessarily do it off the open, and we're going to talk about Google coming up, I'm assuming. Yep. There it was right here. So we broke through. So this was yesterday morning. We wound up, oh, was it there? Yeah, 203, yeah. So we did take a break right there of 203. All right, just because it was 203 and it was coming from the 50 period and VWAP and everything. We took 1 unit there and then we averaged it back in. And we, even as this broke, we talked about getting this back into this area. We were able to put it back on and get it out up there. And it turned out to be quite a nice trade near the end there. So that's something that we have to be aware of. If you're going to play that break top on Palantir, then you're going to have to be ready to understand that this could fall back on that break into where VWAP is 102.75, 103.50. So like, you don't break the 105 top and with a maximum share size, in my opinion, because if it fails, then you're adding to the problem, because then you have a maximum share size. Other traders probably have a decent amount, and then everyone's going to panic at the disco all the way to the downside. So you have to watch out For that, so I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting here with open hands and arms in and around this 97.98. But for right now, I don't have any bids, and I want to recheck this one at 9.25 because
the imbalances.
Yeah,
will be huge.
the imbalances will come out, and we'll figure out where we go from there. Spotify.
I'd be mortally shocked if there wasn't a significant imbalance on.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, you mentioned that might be the highest volume name. It is right now in the pre-market. Although I think Nvidia is going to. Nvidia will take the crown on that.
Nvidia is catching it. It's kind of catching up.
By the way, Spotify up to $6 here today, up 9%. A nice little report from Spotify. Just look at this name. Like, you want to talk about subscription services. One of the best things that Apple had in their report was their services. And boom goes the dynamite. I mean, Apple, I used to be Spotify, and then the family did the Apple family plan, whatever, $50 a month gets you absolutely everything for the whole family, so it was a great deal. And I haven't missed a beat with Apple or Spotify, but they both seem to be absolutely amazing.
I love Spotify.
That's what I mean. I mean, if you're talking about customer satisfaction, I mean, I don't really hear too much negative about Spotify. I think they're like one of those Netflix names where they can raise the price and people just kind of
I have a small
pay that $1.50 a month extra. Yeah.
My only beef with it is this: there's like this weird tendency when I ask, and it's not even like I feel like they used to be much better when I play a random song, something that we don't listen to. Curating the next song used to be so good. Like if I'm in a vibe or a mood, it's like it seemed to do it really well, and now it's just a little bit more random. Like it's just focusing too much on like what we usually play, as opposed to, hey, if I ask for something very random, maybe suggest some things that are like it, which I feel like it used to do more of, but that could just be anecdotal, and that's nitpicking.
Mine just suggests like Gracie Abrams and all these things now. Like there's a Chapel Roan and all these things now.
Well, you know, that dad life, right?
Yeah, that dad life is just like, it used to be like, oh, Wu-Tang, this and that.
If I play, I'll play like Wu-Tang.
Open it up and see what
my wife just gives me the look like, that's going to be clean. I'm like, well, Spotify is going to, we have the right setting. It'll play the clean version. It's all good.
Someone's calling me from Spain right now.
It could be maybe it's not.
I'm not answering. Is Mr. Barbado calling me over here?
It could be Luis. You never know.
It could be Luis. I'm not going to answer.
Let's talk SMCI because they stink.
Yeah,
I should know what's up.
Let's go back over the desk and find out why, as Neil said, they stink, but they're up 5%.
Just cause. No apparent reason here. 4.8 right now, trying to hold $28. Yeah, I mean, they came out and said Tuesday, February 11th, get set. They're going to do something, a call and talk about stuff. We don't know what yet.
Well, it depends on where you're looking, Brendo, here. So if you look to the event, the company referred to their event, I guess, in a press release as a business update, while their website called it something else, called it a fiscal 2Q 2025 results. Well, which is it? So we'll have to find out. We're called out that the Justice Department did investigate SMCI. They reported in September. They found no evidence of fraud or misconduct. You'll also recall that we're still waiting for their delayed financial statements. They, on December 6th, announced that they were going to release it by February 2025. Still, they have to release that in order to stay active on the NASDAQ. We'll have to wait and see exactly what's going on. But to echo what Brendo said, scheduled February 11th at 5 p.m., they're going to address their Q2 2025 financial performance.
This might be one of those things where it was just a pre-market blip and or after the close yesterday as well. I mean, we get a gap down this morning, but we'll see if this holds, I guess, but you might want to be cautious on this one.
Yeah, there was a lot of everyone in the aftermarket's like, oh, why is SPCI going, and until we actually have some results from them and more clarity on the situation, obviously everyone looks at this as an opportunity because they still do a lot of business and there could be a huge recovery in them. But until proven otherwise, it doesn't move like it used to. Can't seem to hold above $30, which that's been the area. I was going to say when, we always talk about this when you sit down or you look at the levels. It certainly looked like a pop and fade at 30 was going to be a bit of a play when I saw it gap up, but then it already lost the 29 level and is kind of trending down here. So let me just double check. Oh, we have to pay for locate. I'm going to go pay for locates on this one. I feel like we used to get them free, but they'll be really cheap. If it's not going to give some kind of a pop into 30, I feel like this isn't that big of a news deal, and I want to be ready for this type of move, like the move that happened there on Friday, where it did a very, very clean reversion. If it does any kind of a move up like that, into that 30 level, I want to be able to fade it. So that's the plan. I don't think it's, I mean, what are we, like $2 away from it now? You know, would have to get pretty significant to the upside to get to that zone on SMCI. So obviously Palantir is going to be more active. Rigetti is going to be probably more active in here. And we still have to talk about Google and PayPal. PayPal, ouch. That's an understatement.
Yeah, it's down to like 82 or something now, maybe even lower than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so SMCI, I kind of felt the same way there. I just didn't think that it was in the right trend here to be thinking about longs. So even regardless of whatever the news is here on SMCI, you know, there is a catalyst. So you try to go long when you have a positive catalyst, especially when the market decides that it's a good thing. I just can't really get behind like this too much other than what it's doing technically. This is the 200 period moving average. It's trying to bounce off of it right now. So I would say like this is your last chance. It's right here. Last chance to hold 27.50. If we can do that, then obviously it's going to have that upside huge move potential. Because if you hold 27 down here, then I think you get to 29, right? That's just about $2 on 27. So you can get like another 6-7% out of this name just by getting back to day's high, which I think can happen here, especially if the market holds. But right now, look what's happening. Market to the downside. So let's just go back over to the king and let's look at like what's been happening right here. Look at NVIDIA down against the market down. So that's, you know, just trying to relate this to everything. We can look at SMH maybe might be the best one, but AMD also, oh, actually AMD's up. My bad. I thought AMD was down. So AMD is up. So let me look at SMH. Is it just NVIDIA maybe that's getting hit? Because that's really the only one I always look at. Broadcom has been actually pretty good. Yeah, so SMH is relatively flat. So what I was getting at is if the market, okay, here goes SMCI right now, breaking its last-ditch effort. So I almost think it's going to be, and I know that was a good move by Neil thinking about the short there. Looks like it is going to lose this shelf, and then it becomes a short. So if the sector falls, like SMH, AMD, NVIDIA, all that, Broadcom, then I think SMCI just has no chance. And it will fill that gap right back into that 27, and then you can deal with it at that point.
Because that's what it's got.
Yeah, so, I mean, there it goes. It's breaking right now, so. Anyways, okay, the TQ is almost at $81. Yeah, so how much do we have, Google, tonight? Okay, so we don't have too much time left. Just quickly on the futures, I was actually looking at this before, so thank you for putting it there, Jay Lee, in the chat. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's happening right now. You're underneath everything. The market does have a potential to be pretty weak here today. With NVIDIA falling down, with Apple falling down, you're now underneath the 200-period moving average. You have a sloping down 50-period moving average here on the NASDAQ. It's not looking great. It looks like we want to break. That's yesterday's bottom right there, right where, not bottom, but that we made at 4 o'clock, and then the earnings came and we started to bounce through. That's $80.50. You know, you lose that area that we made at 4 o'clock, then boom, I think you do have a nice downside move here for the futures. So let's wait to see if that happens. Good look, Jay Lee. I think there's a chance that we could really go red here and then lose the bottom ahead of a big earnings day.
To Google, coming up after the close tonight, we'll get earnings. There's also this note to be aware of this morning. If you missed it, we were touching on it in the first 30-minute of the show this morning. Retaliatory measures coming against not only Google, but other tech companies specifically. Not going to obviously affect this quarter, but we'll see what the stock does today.
All right, Brendo, let's talk about what they're expecting. We're looking for $2.13 in revenue for EPS on $96.7 billion in revenue. That'd be up from what they printed last year on the quarter, $1.64 on $86.33 billion. There's obviously still heavy spending on generative AI. That's going to be a major theme, especially after DeepSeek. Analysts expect Q4 CapEx to rise to about $13.25 billion from $13 billion last quarter. That's decidedly less than the 60 to 65 that Mark Zuckerberg wants to spend and the 80 to 85 that Satya Nadella wants to spend there. So we'll have to see about that. Also, there's going to be questions about how AI advancements hurt possibly their search model, their search revenue. Google Cloud also going to be very much in focus. It's the fastest growing of the three cloud providers. It's expected to increase 33% year over year and bring in about $12.25 billion in revenue. Should be noted, Brendo, that Azure reported and they dropped a little bit in growth. So we'll have to see if Google's taking some market share.
Yeah, that will be key. We're back to shouting distance here, guys, of all-time highs. It's been a great couple of weeks for Google.
Like, obviously, there's a lot to consider for their earnings tonight, but that's a reaction after. Let's be real. So, we can definitely get into that tomorrow morning. I know it's going to be an absolute banger in the afternoon show, in the aftermarket show with Sean Adair and of course Brian Shannon. I like Apple a little bit better as a trade because it's got a very distinct trend. Like, this might be a resistance at the 204 level, but it was pretty strong cruising. I don't know if it were to fail. If it were to fail 205 again, like break the high and then fail underneath it, I think that would be more of a trade for me. But before earnings, I'm more inclined to move to a different Mag 7 name. Look, I like Google. It's a great holding. I'd like it to be able to push through here. I think if on any weakness, you buy the 50 period, all that same good stuff. But Apple has been pretty distinct. Fail the 50 period, get to the 200, which is just underneath 220. There, if I zoomed it out further. And then yesterday, it was I don't want to say a dump, but it was a pretty strong down day. Friday was obviously worse. You've got the 230 level, which was morning highs. That'll sit there. And then you've got the lower high where we closed at 228. And basically every $2, because 232 is a level here on Apple. So I think it's a little bit more distinct than the pullback trend. And I'd rather play this one to the south side. I want some things for weakness because the market's very flat right now and a few names starting to pull back and nothing's been consistently weaker. Well, maybe a few things have, but very little has been consistently weaker than Apple in Mag 7 land.
Dump it, Sean. Yeah, I don't know. What am I dumping exactly? I think same thing with Google. I said it yesterday and we wound up trading it. But then I also said the same thing like about Palantir yesterday, and we didn't trade it, and that was like on days of earnings. So Google's earnings are tonight. I could see it just kind of doing very similar things to what it did yesterday, meaning you're going to have to either play it with sort of like extreme moves and try to just play the reversion back to the mean. At the end of the day, like yesterday, look where we went out on Google. We basically went out on VWAP. Obviously, we get the last couple minutes of the last 10 minutes of every day is going to be volatile, and we sort of explained why that happens with the imbalances. But at the end of it all, Google spent a lot of the day above VWAP and then just closed right near it anyways. It was pretty choppy early. So I just think that for today, unless someone gets a whisper number, they're not going to leak or anything like that. So whatever. I just think that if you can break through this top, the market's obviously going, and it's going to be better longs than Google, only because I just see some uncertainty heading into the quarter. A lot of people worried about ChatGPT, what that's meant for the search business, what's Gemini meant for the search and ad business as well, as Gemini's implemented all over the place, everywhere. You open up your email, you get a little Gemini guy there now, so that little star in the top right. So at the end of the day, I'm excited for it. I really like it. I think YouTube is absolute smoke show. I think YouTube is great. I think that number is going to blow out. The sort of the cloud computing number is going to be big. And remember, you want to talk about the original OGs in quantum. I mean, you're just chilling out here with Google. So I'm like very, very excited about everything that Google's doing. And it is, as far as a PE, it's the most attractive out of the Mag 7. So as long as they beat, then you'll be fine. Obviously, the problem is when they miss, and we can't predict anything. From a chart, we talked about it. It already had held the 200 or the 50-period moving average, but it's not like it's blowing up off of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we are back into this, like on a miss, like 192 to 95-ish area, right into there, and then we can buy it on that dip. So for me right now, Google, it's a big position of mine. I'm going to go hands off on that and probably not buy any more or sell any more Google for a long time. I've sort of switched over into some indexes now, so we'll be watching and riding out the highs and the lows of some of these stocks. All right, we do have PayPal coming up. Let's go over to the desk because in just a couple minutes, we're going to get the imbalances.
To bounce here for PayPal right now, 6.5%, but still, I mean, this report, if you look at it, is actually pretty good right across the board. They couldn't even get a bounce with a $15 billion buyback announced as well, approved by the board. Typically, that's one catalyst that if the report itself is not great, they throw that in just to
certainly
help price action, but down big time here.
It is. It's like down 6.5%. Was worse, defending that $81 level. Here's the deal, though. The Q4 earnings per share, EPS, beat $1.19. The street wanted $1.12. Revenue, $8.33 billion, a bit more, beating that $8.25 billion the street was looking for, and that's also a 4% year-over-year increase. And here's the deal: the 2025 earnings forecast was above what the street was looking for in terms of EPS. They guided $4.95 to $5.10. The street was looking for $4.90, so it's above. Even the low end is above the estimates there. To build on Brendo's point, $15 billion share repurchase program with $6 billion planned for 2025. Transaction margin grew as well, so they were able to expand there. Total payment volume, this is where they kind of missed, Brendo. $437 billion was below the $438 billion the street was looking for. But when you look at the Venmo total payment volume, that grew 10%. They're also launching new products here called Fastlane, launched in August of 2024. It's supposed to take on Apple Pay and Shop Pay. It's like a one-click payment system to kind of reduce cart abandonment, which I have been guilty of many times, but in a good way, because that money wasn't spent, so it's okay.
When you see it all in one place, it
accumulates.
It's a little bit harder. Just real quick on NVIDIA, Bank of America with a note just coming out here. NVIDIA overcoming DeepSeek and trade war challenges and rising to all-time highs. That's from Bank of America. So NVIDIA here just popping up, guys.
Yeah, I like that note right there. Yeah, Palantir did come out of sell. So right there, 1.36 million. Look at that. You did get that dip down in Palantir down to 101.80. So again, you know, not huge. Actually, a little disappointed. Thought it could have been a little bit more share size on that play. And there's your NVIDIA play as well. All right, let's just talk about PayPal real quick. We have 4 minutes until the bell opens and the casino door gets kicked open. All right, so I wrote PayPal down as a long 84.50 break trade through highs on overdone earnings reaction. So just as Sharif and Brendan just mentioned there, the play to me, the report to me wasn't that bad. I think it's overblown to the downside. I don't even know what was going on there with that move down yesterday, but it was straight down. Went from first it went up to $95, and then it just wow all the way to the downside. Here's 84.50. It looks like it's going to break it right around now. That's where VWAP is. Normally I'd say play the bounce into VWAP, but I actually don't think the quarter was that bad. But if we do get stuck there and have to pay through 84.50, which we might have to wind up doing, then we're not going to hold this too much past 82.50, which is going to be where the 52-period moving average is. Sorry, the 50-period moving average. So $2 worth of risk here on this to hopefully get a little more juice to the upside than that $2. So we'll wait to see, but that's a $2 worth of risk. I like that play. First area to get out. I mean, you could take $2 at 86 and then see about getting higher through there. But PayPal, for me, it could be a quick little one and done. Like, it could get smoked and then that we're out of it. But I think it's like a 2 to 3 unit play on that break higher, maybe a little bit less. We haven't been hitting breaks the greatest lately, so we'll see that. Palantir, by the way, just said, yeah, that's a nice story, and that just went back through 103. So we'll see what happens here. It's going to be a wild open.
Yeah, NVIDIA also had a buy and balance for those. Like on that spike that you just saw that Brendan alluded to, NVIDIA was 600,000, now almost 700,000 to buy. Nowhere near what Palantir is, but it's also done about half the amount of shares as well there on NVIDIA, which I'll get to in a quick little second. PayPal on the daily, there's a support level. I thought we were trending down into SSR territory, 10% down. So I was looking for an SSR bounce. It would be around the $80 level. Actually, if it breaks 81, it'd be above 80, but that's where I'd look for a mean revert, kind of looking like this. Is obviously this might have come out.
It just tanked.
Did this? No sell imbalance there, but you guys all just saw that. I looked over to see if there was a sell imbalance on PayPal, but no, it just kind of tanked off of VWAP in here. The other name that we just mentioned, NVIDIA, remember yesterday, 118, it could not break away. It got 118 to 118.5 on a breakout trade, then couldn't really do much of anything until the aftermarket. Well, it's resistance till it's not, and if it can take out 119, then I would look for the breakout long. But I think the support level down here that we set this range at 13.5, to 13, so 15 even. That's where I'll look for the dip buy on NVIDIA today.
Just quickly, yeah, we might not be able to get to DraftKings, but...
Oh, shoot, my bad. I thought we were done.
Yeah, it's okay. Tesla right now going through. So it's already through our level. We did not... I wrote it down as a side note about 385. It just blew right through it right there. Let's just go. We can go back to the desk if you want to do DraftKings just real quickly, guys. 1 minute.
Yeah, I mean, DraftKings guys coming up, earnings next week. TD Cowen with a negative note this morning. It's down. Not a lot of volume behind this, but 2.8% here. Worth a note ahead of Super Bowl.
So, I mean, I like DraftKings. I think it's an opportunity to buy it. I don't ever really want to buy a name ahead of like a major event because I think you're just kind of like buying the sort of the obvious news there. So let's let DraftKings settle down. Maybe there is something. There's a note about taxes and how that's going to affect them. Yeah. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening with DraftKings there coming through today. So not that much volume, not of over highlighted concern for me. All right, I think a lot of you are going to be wanting to watch Palantir, so we're going to keep that up right now and watch out for that. Now the 200 period is at basically $100. So now it's even more interesting because now that $100 mark is like, oh boy. So we will put a bid in and around there because now it satisfies a little bit more of what's necessary. All right, the opening bell brought to you by Worksport, WKSP. Go check them out. Add Worksport to your watch list today. 2 and 1. Like to thank Worksport for all of that. Take it easy. There we go. The mallet,
the mallet is broken.
Was fixed for a while, and then now
it ain't fixed now.
Is broken. No, that's fine. Just that wood mallet there. Randy will be all over that. All right, so far so good. Here comes Palantir right back in. We said that watch out for buying said dips and all of that kind of stuff. We'll have to wait to see what winds up happening there with Palantir as we'll zoom in. Looks like it got as low as 101 change. And yeah, so far so good. We're not going to hop right into this name. Obviously, it's well juiced right now. More than double. It was expected move was 14%, so just coming back into that level right now. Watch out for 100 dip buy. PayPal comes into 81. Not good enough for me. I'm going to wait for that 80 bottom, but that was the pre-market low right there for PYPL.
Here comes
no positions yet. Here comes what? The market's coming in as well.
Yeah, I just saw, I thought we broke 101 there. There we go. Now it's actually broken a 101 there on PLTR, so it is trending into 100. The other thing that's happening, we did still favor a fade on Apple. Apple almost went green there, but first things first is going to be this Palantir off of 100. Still hasn't really done a very big test of it, but remember that big sell imbalance, a lot of times you'll see that profit taking start to come in. Let's make sure we've actually held the 100 before we get a little bit too frisky. NVIDIA is getting close to 118. That's the other level that we're looking at. And oh wow, Rigetti.
No.
Rigetti.
Rigetti.
Yeah, Rigetti's
we missed that Palantir.
Rigetti's already at $15. Oh, wow. You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Rigetti, mom spaghetti, all that good stuff. There might be a dip buy that has to come in here for Rigetti. But hey, you stare down Palantir, thinking it's going to do that over, under, or under, over at 100. And it's Rigetti. Well, everyone looks left. Rigetti goes up, which is not really to the right, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we had Rigetti on our mind there. I was bidding $100.25. It got down as low as $100.50, but here it comes. Could be another push back in for PLTR. Trying to break through some of these highs as well is not a horrible play. What about a break of 104 maybe now, or 103.75 maybe on Palantir, especially if it's done dipping. That 103.75 area is not horrible. I think we'll try that play right there. Breaking through 103.75 on Palantir. I mean, we might miss it. You got to probably get a little bit aggressive there if you do want this play. So I'm going to try that there on that break. See if it winds up working out. We can get out if it fades back into like 103-ish or so area. So I think that would be something worth a shot here. 103.75 coming up now for Palantir. We'll see if we are able to grab that. So, all right, it's hopefully going to come into that. PayPal's not doing too much. We can check out our China play here with FXI. That's kind of going upside right now with not a whole heck of a lot of interest there. You're in anything? I don't know.
PayPal's almost 10% to the downside, so it's almost at that SSR level where it would get short sell restricted. If it breaks 81, it gets very, very close. I didn't do the actual obvious math because I can just look at my chart and it'll say 10%. So if we do break 81, we'll be right in that pocket for PayPal. The other thing we're tracking, in addition to Rigetti and still looking for that Palantir to maybe give us a real test of 101, is NVIDIA is getting real close to that 118. It's a little bit of patience here. It's not there at resistance yet, but it's starting to get pretty close. So have eyeballs on NVIDIA. You saw in the afternoon what it wasn't able to do at this price. NVIDIA, so if we can get to that 118, it was 118.5 that have resistance. I think above 119, it's a breakout on NVDA. But until it gets there, I still think resistance is in play. Yeah. Come on, get higher.
What is NVIDIA doing?
I'd be a little too patient. All right, maybe we're not going to get
Tesla
this
could be near a bar.
100 on Palantir. It just bounced off 101.5 pretty decently there. You guys just saw big buyers came in at 101.5 on Palantir. Still looking for the 100 test a little bit more earnestly.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's Palantir is really in a dollar range. It's not doing anything right now. It's actually been pretty disappointing just for a day trade yet so far. All right, so the best day trading name maybe has been NVIDIA. NVIDIA held the VWAP, held the 200, and then blasted off. I'm going to be trying to buy this name on this support down here at 117. If we can come into 117, we will look at NVIDIA. Okay, I just have that Palantir ready to go. If we do break that top and in around 103.75, let me just make sure like we had wrote that down there or we had zoomed into it. Well, here it comes now anyways. All right, so we're in. Okay, so we're into this name now, 103.75. Again, it just comes right up into that top. Let's see if it wants to break it a little bit here. Get something out on a break of 104. No, it might not even want to do that. Here it comes upside. Just dancing with this pre-market high, basically. It's not, I mean, the pre-market high was 105. I mean, we obviously talked about that, but it looks like right now it's having a little bit of an issue there. We could pull back off of this. So we're now long. We actually got long at 68s, I just realized. So not a bad area to get long there, but yeah, it doesn't look like it wants to get going too much now. So Palantir, we'll have to wait for a 104 take or so here on Palantir. Put something out if we can get it in the 90s, and then we'll watch out. There it goes. Now we're going to the upside here. Well, maybe not. There's another fade again on Palantir. We got out 10% there. That's it at 104. So was that a call for Adero? By the way, NVIDIA just broke 118 as well. So this might fail. Watch out for the 50-period moving average. I don't want to hold this for too long because taking out the top and then missing is not a good sign. Palantir VWAP also 102.60s. Yeah, I think a 102.50 or so break, and we'll have to eat this one for about $1 and change. But here it comes right back. What's up, Adera?
We're going to take a look here at AI, which seems like it's moving up here in sympathy with PLTR. No news on this, but a decent short float. The other one on watch here is going to be MRK. This is an earnings name. Apparently, this is his largest gap in a very long time. So MRK and AI on watch here, guys. Back to you.
All right, so Neil's got the short there on NVIDIA. Do you want to talk about it? Because I've already gone through Palantir.
NVIDIA just came. Oh, we just got Rigetti as well. So I'll get to Rigetti in a quick little second. But NVIDIA right into that prior high, yesterday's double top. You have to count the aftermarket on that double top, but it did pull into the 108.5 and then just came back in. I got 27s. In there. That's not a great fill. So we got all the way to the $0.50 level. I got some 27s. And then Rigetti, I want to play it back into VWAP. Obviously, NVIDIA with a bit of a rocket to the upside. Rigetti, super strong. Just got to 15. First pull back, bounced off 14.6. I'm going long. We like VWAP too, but just want to take the first dip after missing out. Obviously, we missed on the first move in Rigetti. Is what it is. Was looking for Palantir and didn't really get that break of the $100 level. So we're into Rigetti for the first time. I think it's an add through the 15 break, and then we'll see where it can go from there. Up 10% already here on Rigetti. That's, wow, this stock is nuts.
All right, there it is again. Day goal hit, 9:37. Timestamp it right there. So we are now done. We've done it again here, Neil. One more time for everybody. There's that break. We talked about 103.75 break. There it is for everybody. Neil included. Everybody that's there. I know you got NVIDIA and Rigetti, but there it is. It's a dollar club, courtesy of Trader TV Live. There's that 103.75 break. It's literally what we said. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Your boy is doing it again. We are the people's trader, and there it goes to the upside here. Maybe people's investor with this Palantir as well. But it's a nice move to the upside. We have made our daily goal right there already with this Palantir trade. But we are still, look, this could fall again against us. But if we were to get out right now, 150% of daily goal met right there with the Palantir trade. So just to let you guys know, that was going to be obviously on our mind. It was the #1 stock written down here on the watch list and on the sticky notes. So there we go again, man. It's Palantir, and it's an absolute monster, Neil. We're going to go 1 for 1. Huge day there on PLTR. What's going on with you?
We added on the 15 break on Rigetti here. So we took the 14.7 and then it played into 15 even. We added the 15. At this point, we're out of the dip buy, and the only shares are in like, first in, first out, as we always talk about. So we're in only the long trade over 15, looking for 15.20s here on Rigetti. It's a swing and a miss, obviously, not to have got it a little bit earlier. we get out at the prior high on NVIDIA. I like 19 for the actual reverse into the long, so we didn't take the long when it broke the prior high. We were able to get 118s out before it broke out, but still want to respect that 119 level, which I believe is still going to be in play. I'm just going to shift my bid on VWAP. VWAP's going to be a moving target on Palantir. When 100 holds, we'll now look for 103 on PLTR. If it breaks out the top and gets to the top, I'm always looking for the retracement back into VWAP, which obviously rhymes. So NVIDIA 119, we're going to look for a reversal, but until it breaks out, not looking for the long. Want to be long in Rigetti, trying to catch some more dip buys here. If it gets to VWAP, I think we got to look to add to this on the way to the upside. Up 10%, looking relatively strong here. Is 105 going to break? Yes.
Let's just hope it breaks, guys. Let's just hope this breaks. Palantir up 25%, making the long-term sing, making the day trading account here just absolutely blast off here to that north side, man. What a great day to be in and involved here with Palantir. This is why, Neil, we come to work every single day, man. I mean, this has been quite the run. I'll take some more. I mean, I'm just going to scale some more out here. Looks like we just did fail off of that top. I do have some offers here now. Okay, there we go. Some offers now in the 60s. We just got a little. Oh, no, we didn't get filled there. I was at 63. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now we're filled. All right, so just a couple more outs here. I think we're panicking a little bit here getting this out, but so far so good. Let's just stick with the plan, and the plan so far has been really, really working out here for us. Let's go, Wayne. That's right, my guy. Let's get excited as we get to the upside there, as traders are uniting all over the place here as we get going there on Palantir. Nice little 105 and change. We are now also into PayPal. What's up, Adara?
Breaking over 1,000 for the first time intraday. It did, of course, break above on earnings, but this is its first intraday break above 1,000. That was already kind of given that up here. Be cautious here. NFLX, pretty volatile, not a ton of volume, about 700,000 shares traded on the day. I couldn't find a catalyst, but lots of people talking on social media. Also, stay tuned for 10 a.m. We'll be giving you those JOLTS job openings, so be aware here. 10 a.m. JOLTS job openings. Back to you.
Yeah, obviously it's going to matter a little bit, but let's be real. If you're trading some of these post-earnings names, it's not going to matter too much, I don't think, on JOLTS. You might be ready for some dip buys to clean up that wick. So you just got to 105 even on Palantir. Like exactly, I didn't get a good look at it, but it was a few million shares on the offer. I'm still looking for the dip into VWAP. If we don't break, then we're still playing the dip buy in PLTR. Rigetti just did the dip holding trend and then right back into 15. I did get some out in 15. That bar is going to close it up. But yeah, Palantir is now starting to come into this 103. So I want to see if we can pick it up at that 103 level. Oh, NVIDIA does not break. So NVIDIA does not break the 119. That's still going to be very, very much in play for the breakout on NVIDIA at that 120 area. I haven't looked at Tesla. At this point, we're just still focused on NVIDIA, Rigetti, and Palantir. We'll have a look at some of the other names in a little bit as we start to come back into VWAP heavy.
All right, guys, it's another one right there. Let's ring the cash register for PayPal as it's trying to get through. There it is. Let's go. There it is. There's the dip buy opportunity. We're going to go 2 for 2 right here. So far, so good on this PayPal play. I mean, don't know where it's going to go. We are now out of about 15% of this trade, now for 30 cents as it comes back in right now. Palantir's coming into VWAP and the 50-period moving average. We could try a little bit of a bid down here just to see, but ultimately, man, if we break, like we said, through this VWAP, we don't need to be part of this one for too much longer. So we'll wait on it. We are long on Palantir a little bit higher. We did take that break play, right? And so once that did fade out, we are now sort of waiting on this. We only have, well, with that reload now, we have about 35% back on. So we'll see where this trade is indicated to go. Looks like right now, south side for Palantir. But there's a little bit of a reload down there on Palantir. So again, man, like I'm not going to get out there on Palantir. I'm not going to take 20 cents. I mean, I'm going to wait to see that VWAP is down there at 102.70. Palantir is already an absolute monster, and we'll see if it can go again. Nice little reload on that dip buy into Palantir right there. PayPal, though, 25 and change cents, trying to go as well. Netflix over $1,000 right now. We're just hearing that is new all-time highs.
Walmart 100.
Remember I said this, man. I said this on that Jimmy Carter day again. It was like, man, they have WWE. They have a lot of properties right now that I'm liking with Netflix, and Netflix now to the moon. And oh boy, guys, There it comes right there, man. It is your 50-period moving average reload right there on Palantir. And oh boy, are we starting to moonshine right now on this name. Palantir, nicely done to the upside. And there goes PayPal as well. So big trading here again today. Actually, I don't think we're up as much today as maybe we were yesterday, but it's been a good day so far.
Yes, sir. And just one note, look, I got Palantir as well, but I'll go over to Rigetti because that just did another move into that 15 area. So we've been buying it right in this 1470, but it's been holding the 15. So a couple of lower highs already put in here on Rigetti. Still going to play it to the long side. But if we lose VWAP, got to be able to jump out of that one. PLTR, I waited for it to get into VWAP. It just got to 103. It's about to play the 105, which we're still putting the break in, which I realized I actually lost my order, so I got to put that break in there again. So I played VWAP to 105 on Palantir. Now we're going to look for the break. PayPal also got right down to that 10% down and bounced, so I waited for the reversion to get into that. We're going to go to Adara, and Palantir is going to break 105 by the time we get back.
Let's go.
Talked about Palantir, we talked a little bit Merck, we talked PayPal, Spotify, though, another really strong earnings name here. SPOT, sharply to the upside, so keep an eye on Spotify, guys.
Sir, man, this is what trading's all about. This is why you want to be on a prop floor. You hear the boys in the back getting super excited. Everybody's on this Palantir train, and we reloaded it. So this is starting to get exciting now, boys and girls, here on PLTR. And there it is, man, 2 times daily goal now at 9:45. So let's go one more time. Tariffs or not, Palantir is like all aboard. Nice move to the upside right there, 105.70 and change. This was a name that we've been riding this one since $10. Nice move upside there for Palantir. And Neil, we did it again on PayPal as PayPal just keeps on going higher and higher and higher. So yeah, man, so far so good here today on Palantir. Great job there, Neil. But Palantir continues to get going high side.
It's the stock that keeps on giving and giving and giving. Its name is Palantir, and it is clearly blue skies here for Palantir. Like, it doesn't matter where you took it. If you bought 100, you're great. You bought VWAP, you're great. You bought breakouts, you're great. You bought 105, you're absolutely dazzling. So look, it's gone. I gotta get rid of this wick here because you can't see the scaling. It makes the move, the $3 look like nothing on that scaling. But gotta watch out here. You know, I'm not concerned about Palantir because you see what's happening. But as I said about Rigetti, we got the move 1470 to 1510. It's still trending down. I'm going to give it a chance to revert this move and hold VWAP. But I don't want this pulling back and losing the bid, especially with all the strength that we're seeing over there in Palantir. Just one more note. NVIDIA still hasn't broken 119. It's doing its best. It's doing its darndest. 119. Actually, 95 is the current high. I think NVIDIA is set for a breakout in addition to what we're already seeing here in Palantir. So it is Rigetti that's a little bit of a concern, only because we've reloaded it a couple of times down here, and it's about to break out that bottom. And I don't want to turn this one into a losing trade. So we're not going to reload it unless we get a mean revert.
$2 in the money now on Palantir as it just keeps on. Man, I'm gonna have to take a walk here so I don't get out of more. Like I don't. So we still have pretty much. I'm trying to think. We have about a third left now, including the reload. Like a third left of our total position. Actually, a little bit less than that. 25% left of our total position. As wow, oh my gosh, Neil, here we go again, man. It does seem like a little bit of a broken record here, but we are really seeing the board like. So clear. We talked about that yesterday. And here it goes again right now, man. 106 and change for PLTR. Like, oh boy, it's about like making up your mind and getting into something and just trusting who you are and how you're trading. And it's like, that's exactly what we're doing with this, right? You kind of like, you're looking at a stock here, you put it on the list, you do the work on it, and then you sit back and you're a trader. So it's like, okay, I'm supposed to make money. We talk about trying to make a living here, trading. And I mean, this is what we're showing you right now about what we're trying to do. So there's like a really monster winner. Like people are always telling me, Neil, why don't I trade options? Thing is, we don't have options over here. Otherwise, I mean, I don't even know what kind of a play some of these things would be blowing to the upside. I mean, I know that I wouldn't be able to get out the way I do, so I'd have to change a little bit there. But congratulations to everybody that's on this. Palantir, monster trade today, absolutely huge. That's that. All right. We're getting lighter and lighter here at 106. Like, I don't know where this guy goes from here. I mean, up 30% is something else for me. And I need to just calm down because it's a big trade all around. PayPal out there mostly at 20s. I still have half of this position left. And I mean, there it goes. And this is even taking out new highs. So bye-bye Palantir. Maybe trailing stops. I'll take out something else here at 30s and we'll go from there. But, there we go. Neil's got Palantir now at 05 as well. It's a great trade. And then Rigetti there at 1482. I mean, man, we're putting up some numbers here one more time today. I'm now up almost double what I was up yesterday, and yesterday was a trophy day. So today is going to be trophy times 2, it looks like, and hopefully times 3 and times 4, especially if this keeps on going right there upside. So, all right, let's go now over to the desk with Adara.
We have here a couple small caps. If we're looking for some of these smaller plays as Palantir and PayPal move. We do have Regulus, RGLS. This one announcing today, apparently they're going to be presenting later on here at the Oppenheimer Annual Healthcare Life Sciences Conference. So conference appearance for RGLS, but also VLCN. So this one did actually have some news this morning. Vulcan, they announced they're going to be the exclusive U.S. distributor of these supersonic golf carts. However, this one's interesting because it has about a 470,000 share float. So that is a very small float, and 13.7% of that float is sold short. So tiny float, massive short float for VLCN. There's also RGLS. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. Obviously, when Palantir is moving like a small cap in terms of percentage moves, you kind of get the best of both worlds. So you don't necessarily have to focus on them so much. At this point, you've got another break of the high, so it's a very steep trend line, but it is what it is. If we break that trend, I'm going to cover some. Not all, because I think VWAP is right at the entry price of that 103, and we'll like that one on the way back. But Rigetti, remember what I was saying, Rigetti, that was the one that was in trouble. It tried to break. So there you go. It tried to break. I added back into it, but then it lost VWAP. So your initial push on Rigetti, good, but now you're starting to trend back into the downside on RGTI. Obviously, Palantir is going to carry the day, but RGTI was a miss. We should have had this one at the open. Instead, we were thinking we'd get a real test of $100 on Palantir. It didn't happen. I do have an order set for NVIDIA to go, but it's not looking nearly as strong as the first time we got into that 119. So still some higher lows on NVIDIA, but no real breakthrough yet on NVDA. And yeah, we're still looking at, Tesla, it's kind of strong. I like 400 on it for a fade. We're not really getting to that price. They said if we don't get to that, I'd have to look for maybe some kind of lower high. Could be this 390 really is the resistance spot, and we don't want any part of the 400 on Tesla. I don't have any offers yet on Palantir. Starting to think if it continues this trend, 100, 105, 110 seems logical.
Yeah, I think that's a good point there where you could take 110. Okay.
Only because it's been moving in $5 increments.
Oh boy, if this thing gets to 110, let's ride. I have some offers. Again, upside, 107.25s. This is really turning out to be a special trade for this name. Okay, as is PayPal. PayPal, nice move to the upside right there as well as that continues to go. We take another out right there at 81.25. This one we're just trying to, so it's too bad. I was watching, I thought you were up there on Rigetti, but I was just looking back here. It did fade off 15. I thought it was still continuously blasting through, so I didn't look at it. That VWAP, that 50-period moving average could be something down there at 1440 for Rigetti, so watch out for that play coming again on RGTI. All right, so see, this is where, again, getting out when you see some of these tops, I hope that we can get upside right there, but we're just going to keep on, not keep on getting out, but getting out as we start to bump up and then just start to get a little lighter on said position here with our friend PLTR because it's been just such a huge move up, 27%, now double the IV, the expected move right there, the volatility on, implied volatility on Palantir. So it's been an absolute banger. there, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I think that we'll just continue to hold forward here in Palantir and see what winds up happening on the upside, and just wait to see before getting any more out. But I do have that out up at 107, and we're just starting to cover a little bit more in this 106.50 area. So I don't necessarily want to sit and just rest on the fact that this may continue to go up to that upside. Starting to get some more out. We do have, again, after the shares that we traded, doing the math here, just about 10 to 15% left on PLTR. So an absolute banger of a trade. Let's see if it can continue. Good outs there. You see, by getting out there, we just saved ourselves reverse rate there, Dollar Club. You know, so getting out right there at 106.75 now saves us the worry of what's happening right now. So pretty good out there on Palantir. Let's see if we can continue that move now on the name.
Yeah, I just trailed a piece out of Palantir, it looks like, as well. But NVIDIA broke 119 and just got to 119. Only went to the quarter mark so far on NVIDIA, so that's not a very overwhelming breakout. Apple's getting really close to its resistance level, so we're going to keep tracking that to the 230. It just cracked the 239 or 229 level, so Apple's still very much in play, which I like short at 230. There's NVIDIA, zoom in there. It can't seem to get past that quarter yet. But we'll give it a little space. 120 is a good level when you zoom out the chart. Going to get an order at the half. But as Sean mentioned just a second ago, like you had where's my trend line going? Well, we broke the trend a little bit, so I said I'd take a piece out. Still going to hold some. Still going to like VWAP if we can dip back into it here for Palantir. VWAP is a moving target as it trends up. Obviously, it's going to go higher and higher. But 103 half to 104 looks like that level for Palantir. And NVIDIA now to the half. Sorry, the 119.40 mark, trending toward the half dollar. 120 on NVIDIA is Friday's kind of close level. So I expect a little resistance at the 120 and then see how far it wants to fly. Market's up 0.7. Everything seems to be going higher. I did say I like Apple short at 230, but it's only at 228 half.
Ooh.
So probably
really going.
Yeah, probably not going to be into that one for a while. We'll take a lot for this to get another push. Apple's actually lagging the market here, and now that I look at it, looking pretty weak relative to the overall market. But NVIDIA looking good. Palantir still on target, but slowing down a little bit, which is to be expected. I mean, you can't go that parabolic forever. There's got to be pullbacks. Although on a 15-minute, it doesn't look like that. You're getting your first real pullback on Palantir right now.
All right. Yeah, I mean, as expected, right? I mean, we just got another out there on Palantir at 106.30. So again, another reverse Dollar Club winner. And again, you hold on for big moves. We've already done that. Right now, you are seeing a reversion back in on PLTR. So again, if you're trading with a little bit more shares, then you should be doing stuff like this, getting out as you start to see some upside. But we do obviously realize that not everybody has the ability to get in and out and trade with as many options as we do here, with including stop orders and then adding in removing liquidity where we can make money on this. Like, see this little move up? Taking a piece out right there at 75. So I have the ability to do that. Like, it just ripped up 40 cents in my favor. Boom. Let's take it out, right? I mean, can it continue to go higher? Yes, it can. This is the most money I've probably made on Palantir in an individual day in a very, very long time. So it's a nice move there for Palantir. It's an earnings play. We did it exactly what we're supposed to do. We waited for levels. We played VWAP. We absolutely nailed this name again here today. So good trading early on. We're at just over 2.5 or so times our daily goal. It's not even 10 o'clock. It's been a big day. PayPal gave me a little bit of a scare there. We got out of another 10% basically for flat when we broke back down through 81. This name, again, I forget who was it that I was talking to yesterday. It was easier to trade when you're winning a little bit and you've got sort of that money in your pocket there. Oh, it was Obi who came over here and said that it's a little bit easier once you got that money in your pocket a little bit. So I don't want to overlook PayPal. But at the same time, you know, it's not great, man. You're going to get that 10% bounce, which is what we're going to try there pretty soon with the SSR. So we'll see if that wants to bounce off here as it comes into 80.50. But we still have about a third of this trade on, and it is falling in right now, right into 80.50 again. So I'm sitting at
Didn't
$80.
actually go SSR. Did it?
No, at $80.25 to see if there's some kind of a bounce play here. But we can try a little bit now at 53. I'm sitting there bidding. Okay, so we have it.
New highs NASDAQ.
New highs in NASDAQ. Okay, absolutely great trading here. Palantir, Neil, is now $1, $2, and $3 in the money now on PLTR.
Yeah, Palantir's. Well, I'll let the Lambo play out there. Make sure you guys get to hear the rev of the engine. Palantir just bounced off the breakout at 105. So obviously break, take. If it's going to double bottom here at 05, VWAP sits at 103.5. I am going to adjust the stop. If we lose 105, VWAP is still at 104. And as long as that's true, I'll get out and then get back in. If it trends up for the rest of the day, I think it should be absolutely fine. NVIDIA just got to 119.75 and starting to pull back a little bit here. But starting to pull back a little bit on NVIDIA. If it can hold 119, I like the stair step up. That was pretty clean at 18. So far, clean at 19. I think that's the spot to reload. Let's go to Adara. I think we have, it's 10 o'clock. Oh, happening now.
It's also numbers. We have JOLTS job openings coming out here for the month of December. So we are expecting here 8 million versus the previous print here of 8.096 million. And we come in lower than expected and lower than the previous print, 7.6 million versus the forecast of 8 million and the previous print of 8.098 million. We had a slightly lower than expected factory orders print as well here. So negative 0.9% versus negative 0.8% expected. We also got core durable goods and durable goods revised, but those numbers were exactly flat. So again, to recap, lower than expected factory orders, but notably lower than expected JOLTS job openings. And the market doesn't care that much. A little bit of a pullback here from that 523 for the NASDAQ, but still near day's highs here. S&P 500, the same thing, though. This is a little bit weaker than the NASDAQ on a percentage basis, and we did just reject that 600 level. We talked a lot about PayPal, of course, and Palantir earnings. Palantir, they're above 100 for the first time. We've got Netflix above 1,000 intraday for the first time. But we also have Spotify. This is another name that reported pulling back a little bit here after early strength. But basically, this was a beat. It was a pretty strong report, stronger than expected guidance, and their Q4, basically everything up year over year. Then we have Merck, which is a very different picture here on earnings. They did beat on EPS and sales, but their guidance for 2025 sales well below estimates. Their adjusted EPS guidance pretty well below estimates as well. If you're looking for earnings tonight, it's going to be a doozy. We have AMD, we have Google, we have Snap, we have Chipotle. Check it all out in the market recap show at 4 p.m. with Brian Shannon. Back to you.
Tasty earnings aftermarket. Chipotle in there as well. All right, as I was saying, the NASDAQ's actually at overnight highs, so we're continuing to push higher. About to break. It was fresh highs in the morning. We haven't broken the overnight top, so apologies there. When I said we're making fresh highs, that was since the open on the NASDAQ. But we're at resistance at this current moment. NVIDIA's at 120. If we lose, look, it just double tapped the 120 level. I think you could, with resistance double topped on the futures and NVIDIA, this would be a spot where I would expect a little bit of a dip. Not going to add on this break at 120 because of that. But everybody out there, appreciate all the looks, and Hims is making moves. See some people asking about Merck in there as well. We appreciate you. We're going to be active on pretty much everything that moves. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that subscribe, as everything is flying higher. And so I've been told by the man to my left, your day gets infinitely better if you share with everybody in the community. So shout out to you guys there, and we appreciate you. Let's go continuously to the upside. Here's the 120 break. I'm not adding to it. I'm not taking this break out of NVIDIA. If anything, I'd rather see it play back into the trend and see if we can't get a dip buy as others take this break of the high of day.
Yeah, we just missed. Okay, we're here at 60. I'll take a little bit. I'll cross in, get a little bit out there on PayPal. We did get that 25 dip buy. Again, our out is a break of $80. So if this breaks below key level of $80, obviously on an earnings play, we will get out of PayPal. So I do have an offer up. I just want to make sure I do have that offer up there. Yeah, 75s. We do have an offer there on PayPal. So let's see. There it goes. All right. Yes, sir. PayPal with the face slapper, the money maker right there. Nice move upside there for PayPal. PayPal's really starting to go. So that's a real nice move. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see that you're out of it there. So there goes Palantir breaking through 105. We don't have to worry about this. We you know, didn't wind up holding that much of this at all. We actually talked about being under or near that 10% before this kind of a move. So now we are at about 10% left, even just a little bit underneath that. So no, I'm not even focused on that right now, but I will go back over to it. It's PayPal, nice move back there to the upside, 81. We've only traded 2 names today, and there'll be
another one.
And
Another one.
followed by props to everybody that has them, because it's been 2 for 2 and 2 for 2 good ones there. So there goes Palantir on the way back in. Not a great move, obviously. You don't like to see that, but you still didn't get anywhere near the 50 or VWAP. So I think you're still fine, but that is a little bit of a flush there for PLTR. And here comes the move back up. Let's get something out like around 105.80 if we're able to do that. Nice move back up there for Palantir. 105.50.
Yeah, it just held it pretty nicely. I wanted VWAP in here, which now sits just a smidge underneath 104, like 103.70 something or so. So we got out of we took VWAP the first time, then 105. We're still looking for VWAP in here. It's been putting in lower highs. I think it's entirely possible. PayPal did go 10% down.
Yeah.
It did go 10. Oops, I keep typing Palantir. I hate when 2 things begin with the same letter. There we go. It did just go SSR, sorry, and then broke this trend. So going to get into it again. Anytime it's an SSR bounce, I'll respect the fact that the stock is down today, and it's a play into VWAP, which sits at 82 there on PYPL. NVIDIA is still holding nicely. That break of 120, I mean, it's not like super, super clean, but it barely went against you if you took it. It held on to this steep trend line. If we break trend, I'm out looking for a dip into VWAP. And otherwise, we just sort of let it fly. Oh, and it's not just, I mean, there's other chip names out there in the world. AMD up 3% and getting close to 117.5. It feels like everything but Intel is looking very good in chip line. Sorry, and Marvell. Marvell dumped at in the pre-market for some unknown reason. But yeah, but PayPal, this one got to SSR, got down 10%, but as you can see, it's kind of stalling out at 81s there, bouncing off 81.5. It did break the recent downward trend, kind of like that one, as it went to the SSR. But I'm out of Palantir looking for the reentry spot.
Yeah.
The thing about that is it might not let you back in. It's entirely possible. We'll see what happens with Palantir, but I might have ducked out and might not end up with VWAP after all. We'll be patient. You never know. It could still come back for us.
Yeah, I waited there for Palantir, and we were able to get that out there at 105.50. So again, good patience, and I think we're really showing what we're able to do. And you can also, I think you said prop for match.
Huh?
Oh, not ready. Okay, my bad. Okay, so there goes Palantir. Nice move to the upside. And by the way, there goes PayPal again as well. So yes, sir, that is a hot dog cannon for you right there on PayPal. Oh boy, Neil, this has been an absolute monster of a day. And I know we said that we wouldn't be too celebratory with our days, but honestly, Neil, it is day after day after day that we are seeing these kind of results coming through. And again, when you're reading the board like this, we want to thank everybody for joining and absolutely crushing it with us here again today at Trader TV Live. But if you are looking right now to become that next level trader and that skilled trader, but lacking capital, prop firms offer the perfect opportunity to trade with simulated funds, allowing you to showcase your skills. Access account sizes ranging from $5,000 to $500,000, and you can start with as little as $20. But with over 500 prop firms out there, how do you find out which one is the best? Well, that's where Prop Firm Match steps in. Prop Firm Match is your go-to platform for finding and comparing only the most esteemed firms with proven track records and consistent long-term payment histories. Access over 4,500 verified reviews, explore their payout histories, and discover the best current deals all in one place. Scan the QR code or visit propfirmmatch.com today to find the perfect match for you. Thank you so much. But here we go again, man. It is Palantir, and we're going to get some more out here just ahead of 106. And oh boy, Neil, has this been yet again one of those days? Yes, it has. 2 trades today, and absolutely right off the playbook. Perfectly executed for myself. And then the only other one here that I you know, we could have been in, and it's coming back into our levels right now, is Rigetti. We said $13.80 to $14 possible long zone now for Rigetti. It looks like we're trying to fall right back into there as well. So I don't know, man. Like, we're getting lighter and lighter on all these plays. We're over $3 now in the money on these two plays. And I know you've got NVIDIA there, which is a great one as well, and you hopped on PayPal. So far, so good here with these trades, man. I hope everyone is really having a blast. This day has been a different one for me again here today. It's been really exciting and really fun to do it with everybody.
That's what it's all about. And as you said, like, everything is starting to go. Beer producer, NVIDIA TP at 125. TP. I don't know what you, maybe you meant PT, like price target. No, for me, it's not 125 today. I'm looking, if you remember on Friday when it dipped, there was a 122 seller in the afternoon that was pretty big. That's where I'm looking for the target in here on NVIDIA. I want to keep things in perspective, just sort of play it by the plan. Like, so far the plan has worked. If we break trend, I'm out. If I want to hold it to the 122. Otherwise, all right, here comes Apple. Apple just got to 230 almost. So it takes a little bit of patience, but now Apple is at the resistance level. It looks pretty strong going in here. It's going to have to do some kind of really good mean reversion. This isn't a spike up and fade like at the open where it's just one wick and you get in. This is a strong upward trend that you'd have to be fighting. It's got to be a very, very clean trend reversion on Apple. I don't want to just sit on the offer and give back profits because, you know, I happen to say that that's a resistance level. A lot of times it'll give you the entry, but if it just blows through without any kind of a setup or mean reversion, then I don't have to be in it. The other thing worth watching is PayPal. It's going to be hard to see because the range is so huge. But 81 has a bit of a seller on PayPal. It's been like, not a brick wall, but it's resistant.
It's stupid on PayPal.
So I'm going to cancel offer in front of 81. If it breaks 81, I think you get right to 81.5. So if we're breaking 81s, then I'm just going to give it the $0.50 instead of trying to sell it to quarters on PYPL. Just to give it more room if someone wants to sell down there. You know, I'm getting out regardless at prior bar low.
What's up, Elon? Yeah, look, I mean, PayPal was a stock that we've been on. We talked about it. We'll get more out on the upside. I mean, return to greatness. Just return to greatness. I need to get out of here. I need to go get a water. But, I mean, Palantir just continues to march higher. It's a difference maker, right? And it's doing it right now. And so we don't really need to do anything at all right now. Just kind of just hang out here, watch this name go higher and higher and higher. I don't, you know, maybe we're right about it, or maybe Neil's right. Maybe we do get a 110 area to come through there. And how good would that be if that is the case? So let's just figure it out. Just continue to watch this and go higher. And yeah, I mean, that is what it is. What's up, Siesta, man? Humility does go a long way, and that's what we're trying to do. We realize not everybody's going to have all these trades. Not everyone's going to have the same P&Ls. Not everyone's going to have, you know, the same ideas as we do. Like, I don't want to be celebrating along, meanwhile other people are short. I don't want to be talking about having, you know, big days when other people maybe aren't. And it's like, it's more about explaining what's been happening. I kind of look at this as sports, basically, where we'll do the play-by-play. We have some commentary here, and these are the plays that I'm in, and they're working out. We're getting excited. We're throwing touchdowns. We're throwing 80-yard bombs every single day, and they're hitting, right? So that's kind of like what I'm getting excited for. That's the whole point of this. You know, we are putting these up, and again, everybody has their own thing, and for me, it's trading here and really enjoying it, and just becoming, you know, that trader that we had hoped to become, and it's happening right with everybody here. So that's been really great. And I know through the super chats and everything that we're getting from everybody else as well, that they have also seen the light in a lot of their trades. And as I said to David in the chat last week, and Jay Lee, and everybody that's there, Sebastian Ozan, everybody, Daryl, Chef Joe, you know, absolutely everybody in the chat. It's like, once you start to get that feeling, then you can start to use more shares. And when you start to do that and the trades still work out, that's when you know you're getting to that next level. So yeah, it's been great. It's been a blast. and we'll just continue to do what we're doing, man. And hopefully that means entertaining and exciting everybody and keeping, the world of what can be lonely trading somewhat exciting with Neil and myself, and hopefully putting up some winners. We're going to go 2 for 2 over here and have a bigger day today than yesterday. So pretty happy overall. All right, I got to go get a water. So Neil, I'll get you one as well.
Oh, appreciate it. I don't know if Randy was going to come, but that's all good. So I appreciate that. Look, NVIDIA, we always have to have a plan of action, everybody. So party might continue, but we just broke trend. We didn't really clear out that 122 yet. The market's still trying to press, but when we broke trend, that's me getting out on the other side of the trend line. I don't have to go short there, but I always have to look out for what's next. And then remember I was saying I had some concern over PayPal at that 81 level. Well, exactly what we're sort of getting at here on PayPal. Let me just zoom in. There's your wall at 80. There's your mean reversion for our entry in. It's still holding out at that 81 level. If they can break this, guy, so what I was talking about was a lot of times offering in the quarters, but if there's a wall at 81, I feel like if it busts that 81 level, you're probably going to get a big spike up, and then we should be trying to cover at 81.50 or in front of 81.50. Give it more room. If it's going to do the blast, why sit there at 11s or 20s or 22s or something along those lines? If clearly there's a big seller, probably going to have some stops in there at the 81, and then we'll give it a bigger chance. I said I'm going to preach some patience with Apple because it got to my level, and it is super strong going into this 230, but it has yet to really break any kind of a trend line that you're going to throw in there. It's still looking really strong. I just don't want to step in front of a moving freight train. Oh, appreciate you. I don't want to step in front of a moving freight train on Apple. So either it does a false breakout, or we're just going to have to wait for that mean revert. This is that time of day at 10:15. You don't want to sit there and start throwing away profits that you had from earlier. So far, obviously, so far, so good. With the exception of, I trailed out of my 105 when we lost that 105 on Palantir. So you can sit, like I'm not a results. I don't like resulting because if I just sit there resulting, I'll be like, oh, I'm up Palantir 3x of any loss that I had yesterday. That's great. But, that's my out on the 105. So I don't like that out. And I know that was a little bit loose-handed, so I got to find a way to get back into it. I'm always sort of focused on what is next and not necessarily doing the resulting on that one. So, yeah, it could have been a little bit better in holding on to the 105. The dip buy and the VWAP obviously going to work out. I don't want to take a break. It's past that time of day where I like taking breakouts, so I don't want the 107 at all. VWAP's a play. 105 is also going to be a play for me. And now Apple's starting to come in. Let me know what else you guys are watching because I'm really still focused on all the same stocks here. Let's go to Adara.
We have some tariff-related news here, guys. We do have, or at least commentary. So Navarro, who is the trade advisor to U.S. President Donald Trump, said that the U.S.-China call with regards to tariff is going to take place today. When asked about if there will be any pause for China tariffs, like what we saw with the U.S. and Mexico, Navarro said, let's see what happens. So we're going to have to wait and see here if there is any pause with regards to these China tariffs. But Navarro also said that apparently if this trade study indicates that there are damages from the $1 trillion global U.S. trade deficit, and they show that those are significant, there's actually a possibility of a supplemental global tariff. So this could be a global tariff as well, in addition to these country-specific tariffs. To recap, yesterday we did have Mexico and Canada have their tariffs delayed for 1 month. China, apparently this call is going to be happening, guys. Back to you. Oh, and we're brought to you by Worksport. Sorry about that. This part of the show is brought to you by Worksport, introducing a new discovery on the NASDAQ. Worksport, ticker WKSP. Worksport is a U.S.-based manufacturer, and they're rapidly expanding with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off-grid. Whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, Worksport has you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP. Discover the future of clean energy with Worksport. Check out this chart, guys. Look at this Worksport chart currently hanging out around this 93-cent level. So let's see what we can do here with WKSP. And make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content. Back to you.
There, Darren. And I saw a lot of people mentioning in the chat Xpeng, Snowflake, but I just saw in here Rigetti. I like to leave these in when this happens, but we always talk about this. Sometimes your best trade is the one that you cover. It could be you realizing that, hey, this looks really good to the upside, we're going to join it, and then it reverts the trend, and then you get out. Now Rigetti is down. I mean, it's still up 2%, but it's down precipitously, like $1 here from some of the over $1 from the highs, almost $1 from VWAP. But I like the trend. If it can hold the previous trend line as support when it was resistance, that's a good spot for a mean revert, and then maybe look for it to do some kind of a, hold this, break back out above. So I'm still having Rigetti up. When it's lost VWAP, that's an easy out for me, and then look for the next opportunity. PayPal's still having the same trouble with 81. See this? It's still the same seller at 81. It's not like a bunch of size on the offer. It's just like a held offer. Like someone just keeps refreshing at that level no matter what they do to it. A little bit of strength coming into the selling at Rigetti. In PayPal here at that $0.50 in the money. We'll see if it can carry through, but for now, just be patient with it. Apple's still looking relatively strong. I know we haven't really talked too much about Tesla, but it just lost, for a second, it just lost VWAP while the market's at the highs. So once again, Tesla not quite as strong as you would like it. Still can't get to 400 on Tesla. I don't know if we're going to get the level we want on Tesla for the short. If we pop and fail 390 again, I might just have to take this 390 instead.
All right. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thanks, Neil, for that. All right, so just quickly, I heard him talking about PayPal. I got some more out at 81, so that's that. We're going to get some more out here. I just came back and noticed that we are under 106 again, so we'll take 106 in Park. We'll take 105.88s right there, another out for us on Palantir. Now officially 10% of the trade. So, oh well, but a big trade. All right, so there goes the NASDAQ. Nice little dip by opportunities yesterday, I guess, in the NASDAQ as we continue to go higher. So let's figure out what's leading the way here, and let's look through the e-signal trade rate just to give a quick little look at what's been popping off, if there's anything at all. I'll call up a 1 minute chart. As I go through some of these, we'll talk about them. So, all right, first things first, this PayPal, nice move today, obviously, on earnings, trying to make that move back there to the upside. SOXL, obviously, making it sing right now. Nice move up there as we watched out for NVIDIA with a big move there today. There's NVIDIA themselves up now. Neil, yes, sir. Nice trade. You had that one. Breaking through 120 now. I know you were along there, 119. Good trade on that one, 120 and change. I'm just looking at the charts right here, guys. This level 2 is still Palantir. That's PayPal. Rigetti down into 1380. That's that mom spaghetti level that we had talked about, down in here into 1380. I've left it alone. Not necessarily a chart that we're looking to catch falling knives on. That is Rigetti. Let's go over to Adair and we'll find out what she's talking about.
We're talking about small caps, but before we talk about small caps, I'm also seeing the Wall Street Journal, apparently, or at least a reporter from the Wall Street Journal, saying that Donald Trump is going to speak with President Xi of China on Tuesday about tariffs. This is kind of already expected, but keep an eye on Chinese ADRs and these ETFs like FXI and KWEB, with that in mind. We're talking about the IWM, which is quite the uptrend here, looking very similar to what we saw with the NASDAQ and the SPY, but actually falling a little bit here. So keep an eye on that. Rejecting that 226 level, currently hanging out around 225.75. Lots of these small caps on watch here today. We have ATAI. I saw moving. I couldn't find any catalyst on ATAI Life Sciences, but great push to the upside and a 9.7% short float. So be cognizant of that one. We also have names like VLCN, which you mentioned earlier here, but Vulcan. This is really notable. Just A, it's been really volatile, but B, we have about a 470,000 share float, so very small float, with a short float of about 13.7%. Today, they did announce they're going to be becoming the exclusive U.S. distributor of supersonic golf carts. And last but not least, we have MAIA, that is Maya Biotechnology. This one, a little bit more range bound, but still up on the day here. This is also a small cap hanging around that $2.25 level, announcing updated data from its Theo 101 phase 2 clinical trial. So some treatment updates here for MAIA. If you're enjoying this content, do make sure to like and subscribe. Back to you.
Thanks, Adair. Why did I just cancel NVIDIA bid 117? Is this right? Oh my God, we missed. Oh, that is crazy. So I actually missed. I just had a bid that I had to cancel. That is, oh boy. That's too bad. So I had a break of NVIDIA of 117.25 there that we missed. We missed that break of 117.25. I don't know. Oh man, that's too bad. So we must have been playing off of that break right there. I just canceled the bid. down there, 117.25. Okay, at least I had NVIDIA on my mind because I was like looking at this thing and was like, why do I not have NVIDIA? And then I looked down and I had a bid there on NVIDIA. So I should have checked the time of that to see what exactly happened because I think we should have got that. Unless I put it in after, but I think you would have heard me mention it. Okay, FXI, that dip into 200, into the 200 and into $32 does not happen. So right there, FXI, nice move up there. Obviously, we get positive trade tariff talk there today, and you can see China, some moves in China, nicely done to the upside, FXI, and so on and so forth, heading to the upside. Remember, there's also KWeb. So the KWeb are the internet shares. All right, just real quickly, Palantir's coming back in. We still have $1 on this, but that doesn't mean, again, remember we said we were a little bit less than 10% or so on this trade, or exactly, it's in and around there. We had so many different, we had two fills there. At the end of the day, if we lose this 103, we are gone. That's 103.30 and change. We'll leave Palantir alone if it does come back into here. I'm not going to refresh this at VWAP this time. There's no point. If I refresh it here at 104 and then trust this 103, we could reverse dollar the other way, lose that dollar, and then all of a sudden this trade we give some back. And we're already giving a little bit back, not much. Good share management, I feel like, here on Palantir. The reason why I dropped down all those stocks is because, like, if there's any questions on any names you want us to look at, I'm here for that. So
AMD keeps popping up on my trade rate.
AMD?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's probably ripping. I mean, we just...
Well, it's actually stronger than NVIDIA.
Yeah. It wasn't the pre-market,
okay, technically... No, they're about the same. Okay, the chart's better. That's what I want to get at here. No, I just keep looking over my trade rate. I'm like, every once in a while, like AMD just pops from the middle of it. This here on, this is from eSignal. So I'll see like AMD will be just chilling out and then it'll spike to the top and then it'll come right back in. So it's definitely on radar. It's a nice little bull flag that we're seeing compared to NVIDIA, which is a little bit closer into VWAP here. So just watch out for, if you're in AMD, it's looking really good. My focus has been on NVIDIA. PayPal, you've got to be kidding me. Someone's still holding it at the 81 level. It's working, like it's obviously holding higher lows. Like it's not bad or anything, but like it's really starting to slow down there. Might have to just take some more out at this 81 the longer it wants to hold down there. Here comes, okay, Apple now is double tapped at 230 level. So it fails to break the trend down. But now that if you could break 230, then you set a different trend as you take out a key resistance level. Still looking for only a mean reversion play on Apple there. Just play some patience. You're still pulling back in on VWAP here for PayPal or Palantir. I don't want to get caught in this getting in way too early. If I look at where the support was when we got that VWAP dip, it was 103. I want to see it putting higher lows off VWAP first. So either it's going to be Apple on that reversion, which doesn't even look like it's coming in. NVIDIA is kind of doing this weird dance here in the middle. I either want it to get back to our entry at 119 and we can play off VWAP, or put in some kind of a higher low so we can rejoin that trend. Still watching mostly the same names with the exception of Apple now all of a sudden looking like it wants to break out.
We were able to get out there, take advantage of that bump up in Palantir up to 105. But I thought I heard a call for Adara. Let's go to Adara.
Keep an eye here on MSOS. So this has been on watch here because we do have, and a lot of these health names as well have been on watch with regards to the potential appointment of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. or RFK Jr. as the head of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. He has said, with regards to cannabis, just to kind of contextualize this, he has said that he does not plan to use his role as the head of the Health and Human Services should he be chosen to advance any marijuana policy reforms, actually saying that he would not answer when asked if he agrees with the forums or I guess the place's earlier assessment that marijuana has value. So with that in mind, I say all of that to say that we now have comments, or I guess a post here from Senator Bill Cassidy saying that he actually would be voting yes for RFK Jr. So if RFK Jr. comes in, basically there might be a bit of an issue there with regards to legalization of marijuana. So MSOS on watch with that with regards to any potential cannabis issues, as if RFK Jr. should take the helm. Back to you.
Okay, so we actually have a little bit more of a, I mean, the MSOS is a great story, thanks to Dara, but look at Moderna right now. So, like, if you're into smoking weed, RFK seems like it might be a good thing for you, but if you're into science maybe here and Moderna, then maybe not right there. So there goes Moderna, obviously getting hit there, as we just joke around.
Probably Pfizer, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's he's talked about his opinions there with respect to everything. So we'll have to wait to see now if Moderna and so on and so forth continue to get hit, as it does look like RFKJ will be the guy taking helm. So nice move to the downside in XBI as well. I mean, this was cruising. I thought it was almost like a done deal there, but I guess on this move back in here, I really like XBI. For me, this is a play, and I think it's going to be one for a while. I like the spot. It was one that we were buying and just came back up. So out of all the ETFs, I do like XBI or IBB again. These are the biotech names. So you do see Moderna coming back in. Pfizer, actually, we didn't even talk about them today.
They broke down.
Yeah. So let's have a quick look here with double the catalyst now. Earnings catalyst today with Pfizer, already kind of sending it to the downside or relatively flat, right? I mean, yesterday Pfizer went out yesterday at 26 and a quarter. They got as high as 26.80, but then they opened up pretty flat, nice bump, and then obviously on this move to the downside, I'm not sure.
It's actually worse for Merck. Because Merck
had earnings.
Yeah, Merck had earnings as well. And sorry for the pun, they got Mercked, and they're continuing to do so, down 11%.
I apologize for that.
No, these names are all bad. Like, it's nasty. It's weird to say. Pfizer actually looks better in that regard. So just be very, very careful. Obviously, these are moving pretty heavily here. I was trying to zoom this one out, but yeah, fresh lows here. You're getting into 2022 lows right there at 84 on Merck. That would be, if there's going to be an SSR bounce on market, I think it would be at that $84 level. That's nasty. Let's go back to Adara.
Tilray's just breaking $1 too, Abe.
We're going to do crypto here really quickly, though. I want to talk about this pop in MSOS. So now we are seeing the U.S. Senate Finance Committee has voted 14-13, so very tight vote, to advance the nomination of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. or RFK Jr. as the head of the Health and Human Services Department. What's worth noting, though, is he's actually not pro-cannabis. I want to correct what I said earlier. He is not necessarily pro-cannabis. He's actually been pretty cagey on the issue, though he is notably pro some of these other pharmaceuticals or psilocybin specifically. But MSOS he's actually viewed as a little bit of a negative for this because he's basically said that he has declined to comment on whether or not he would like to forward the rescheduling of MSOS or cannabis. So just keep an eye here. There might be a bit of a reaction just with regards to that because from what I've seen, he is not known for being pro-cannabis. Regardless, here we're going to talk a little bit about crypto. Let's take a look here at BTC to the USD because, of course, crypto on watch. We do have crypto stocks on watch here as well. And this is the 15-minute chart. You can see here, we get back above that 102 level, then we push a little bit lower. We had a brief pop above 100,000 around when the trading day opened or began today around 9:30 a.m., but we followed a little bit since. However, we did just now have this pullback into 98.4 before bouncing. So this looks like a little bit of a support level here on the 15-minute chart. If you go back to the daily, we're still seeing a nice hold here around that 90,000 level. That was yesterday's low. We had that pullback on tariff concerns and then actually closed above 100,000. But I think we need to see Bitcoin continuing to hold above 100,000 because in recent days, since this spike that we made the new all-time high on Inauguration Day, we've had a little bit lower highs for BTC. So let's see if a 100,000 reclaim is in order here, guys. Let's take a look at Ethereum as well because ETH was a little bit weaker yesterday than crypto, and we're seeing the same thing today. Though impressively, it did actually end up closing green on the day after dropping as low as 2150. So ETH USD on watch, as is Bitcoin today, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Adara. Yeah, lots of stuff moving around. And that's interesting to know about RFK. I mean, thanks for explaining sort of that possible.
Can't assume, I assumed he was.
Look at MindMed maybe.
That was up big yesterday, but
an interesting name was Tilray. I just noticed there on that, on that news or not, volume started to pick up a little bit. Actually, no, that's from the morning. But a break of $1 right there on Tilray. I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. And then if we're going to talk, let's just see what happens there. MindMed, so that's upside again. Nice little bottom pick there on MindMed in and around $6 or $7, but that's a very, very difficult name to trade for sure. So I actually put the wrong price there on Palantir. So I meant to put 103 break. Obviously, that's where the 200 period moving average is. Instead, I put 103.97 instead of 102.97, which I punched out immediately on that trade. But when that happens, you just buy it right back. So not much change. I actually wound up getting a worse price. We were actually better than that. We were down here at 103.30s was our long. Now it's going to show me long at 103.90, but that's because we punched out and then we had to buy it right back up because I was like, I even said it. I was like, oh man, what? I'm flat, and that's not what we want. So we want to buy a little bit more here at 103.50. Then I'm using 103 as the out. So just a little bit of an update there on crypto and what on crypto. There, just talked about that. On Palantir there for the possible reload. So that is that. And then honestly, we're now 25 cents in the money here. I'm going to take out another piece at 06 if we can get it. You just saw me go there. Did we get filled? No, we did not. There, okay, well, this is the problem when you don't use a gate. Like I tried to close the gap there. There it is. So it's a nice little fill. It is a dollar club winner. Okay, Neil, PayPal, I know you're in this one as well. PayPal is starting to freaking rip. And this was, again, another call that we had. We've only made 2 trades today. PayPal long and Palantir long. And we're having a banger. So far, so good here. Watch out now. We're getting into an area. I should be getting long here, no? On Palantir. There it is. Okay, good. All right, I was like, don't tell me I missed that fill, but there it is. The fill is now in there on PLTR. That last dip buy was 51s. There it is. Look at that, Neil. 40 cents in the money immediately on that trade. Bang! Right there. That is a hot dog kind of cannon. And when you look down at your P&L and you get something like that, that happens, man. I'm slipping out of about 20% of that fill right there when you get a move up like that. That should not have happened. That was a nice little bounce back there. And PayPal is really humming, guys. What a stock.
Yeah, right into VWAP, PayPal, or close enough to it. Finally got through that 81, as Sean was mentioning there. So we're going to get out in front of VWAP. It's a SSR play down that 10%. I am also looking at Merck for a similar trade if we can get there, but it's always a pullback into VWAP that I like. All right, so here comes Apple. All right, so we just got to the top. Apple with a very, very steep trend. We've been waiting for it to revert this around the 230 level. This is the first time it's really challenged an even dollar and really pulled back in here. Let's see if we can get the trend break here on Apple. Still looking for a trend break on Palantir as well. NVIDIA, no VWAP, no love on NVIDIA. NVIDIA is at 120. I don't know if we're going to get that 119 again, everybody. You could have held on to it, but I got out more or less 30, 40 cents higher from here. So I think the next trade is going to be Apple on a mean reversion. Still looking for Palantir to do a similar thing. So it's either close under, go short, 30s, evens, half dollar, and then evens for outs. Or Palantir gives us a similar thing in the opposite direction. Like break its trend, slight trend to the downside. Obviously, it's up a bajillion %. Close above, give to prior bar low, and then play it back into the high. So one of these two, it's 10:30, mean reversion time. I'd rather join the existing uptrend in Palantir for the revert, but this was our level on Apple. So if we get it, we get it. And I was asked a couple of times to look at the chart for Netflix. It's looking strong. The NASDAQ's looking strong. This is double what the NASDAQ is up, and 1,000 in VWAP are finally in play to the upside. It did nothing after earnings except consolidate near 1,000. Today, it's trying to break it out. So this local high in here, it's already wicked it once, but on a $1,000 stock, breaking a prior high by like 50 cents is basically it didn't happen. It needs to take, I think, this 10-10. But I think you're finally getting some continuation on Netflix. Just hasn't really broken out that earnings high. So I think you got to take profit if you're a scalper, but otherwise, all systems go on Netflix. It's Apple, Palantir, and still NVIDIA that are going to be my jam. Just break the trend, and I'm going short.
All right. Thank you, EVO, in the chat there saying that we deserve to celebrate the PayPal trade. So, yeah, so thank you. We will celebrate that one with a little bit of a slapper right there. Yeah, so good trade there for sure on PayPal. Again, what did we look for? We just looked for relative weakness. Obviously, we got that 10% bounce as well, so we played that. And then we're able to see now, hopefully now. I mean, you never know where these things are going to go, but we're hoping for more upside now, $82. All right, so good little reload, obviously. Look at that trade. Can you look at that? Right there on that. So that's another Neil dollar on Palantir again. There's that reload right there at 50s. Look where we're at, 104.50. So I know there's no positions over there. Neil's been trading great today. We are, okay, I mean, now we're really starting to go here, Sharif. We're doing some big things now. Let's see what Palantir can do here to the upside. Go, Palantir, go. We're at 104.60 right now. See if we get another piece out. It's been so far so good here today. Palantir, the difference maker. I believe we're going to Neil.
Yes, sir. And traders, listen up. The first month at eSignal is free. That's right. They're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to the elite experience with eSignal. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. The platform has absolutely everything you need. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights as well. You're going to have game-changing charts here. The ability to backtest, foretest, every single indicator you could want all in one place. That wide range of tools so that you can predict markets. This is what you're going to get. Tick replay so you can go over how were your fills. Could you get a little bit more efficient? Be able to replay those key moments in the market with Tick Replay. Everything all in one place. Execute your best trades now if you're ready to elevate your game. As I said, first month free. Scan the QR code in front of you. Click the link in the description and get your trader journey started with the right platform behind you. Thank you, eSignal. Thank you, I almost said Palantir again. PayPal.
Well, thank you, Palantir, though.
Right. Thank you, Palantir, as well, obviously. But thank you, PayPal. It does get into VWAP.
Wow.
It finally broke out that 81, so we held it into VWAP. I'm now out. Any mean reversion trade is always a pullback into VWAP when it's an SSR name, so we're going to be out of PayPal. Palantir did, when it broke the trend, it didn't just kind of break the trend. Like, it did this. That's the candle on the trend break.
Let's go.
So for myself, obviously, I'm not going to chase that. I'm not going to chase that like $1.50. If you get it clean, then I want it here, but I'm not going to chase it all the way up at that 105. So I need to get that trend break in there on PLTR. I can let it pull right back in. Maybe it'll give me the long in front of that prior bar low, which is 103.75 on PLTR. A little scaling better on that black chart. But yeah, it can come back into VWAP and give me the fill. That's great. But I don't want to chase the break of the trend. And Apple, by the way, Apple hasn't broken trend. Otherwise, I'd be short. Still looking pretty strong there in Apple. It's pretty close, but it just hasn't happened yet.
So again, good analysis right there. For me, Palantir did enough to get me long. So we just did that. We got in and out 105, $1.50 there in 2 minutes. We are into the name that all you guys wanted me to get into from a very, very long time. So let's props it up. It's now the spaghetti name is now into this one. It's Rigetti. Let's put something out right now at 71 if we can get something. We're actually waiting at 77s. Okay, there it goes. We're also at 73 right now for Rigetti. Just trying to take a little bit out. There it is. Now we have to wait for our 77s to come through, and then we're at 90s. But here it goes right now. We can go 3 for 3 here today. That would be pretty good so far during this AM trade. I mean, you're going to have the midday guys coming through. I'm going to take a drink. There this afternoon. Okay, here's Rigetti, 15 cents. We'll see if it can get a little bit higher than that, obviously, as we want to see if this one can go back up to the 50 period. If we can ever get, we don't have that very low, but we have a pretty good level there as well. So we'll wait to see here what's going on. What's up, Randy, my guy? Hope you're having a good day there as well. Ooh la la, and a reload. I appreciate that. I kind of just got a little bit of one, but we will put that to a side because we always like the fresh coffees up in here. Randy, we are we're doing pretty good again here today, and I think most of the reason is because you're here. So thank you, Randy, for coming in today. But yeah, we are already ahead of where we were yesterday. We now do have it. There it is, man. And like we mentioned before, you know, different styles here, but there it is. Our Palantir dip buy are sticking with it, kept us in it, and there it is right now up to 105 now for Palantir. Let's get some more out, man. As we break higher. There it is, back to the 50 period. Randy, bang, 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 bang. I mean, it's just Palantir's buying a lot of things right now, paying a lot of bills, that is for sure, as there it goes up to the upside. This is my first 10-bagger ever. Nice. So nice move up there for Palantir as it continues to get higher and higher into 105.20 and going smoking as well. We've been getting smoked, I think, in the long-term account on PayPal if you bought that near the highs. But today down
PayPal's
9.
It's actually good.
Yeah, down 9%. PayPal making them sing as well. Today, the two largest names P&L-wise will be PayPal and Palantir, that's for sure. The two stocks we've traded. And we're trying to put Rigetti on the board too here, Neil. Give me those 77s. Let's go. This is what we talked about. Can we get it? Maybe we cannot, Randy, but if we will it sometimes, if you stare at it and you give it these kind of things, eventually it will go up. See, 75, it's trying to go, 75. Can we get 76 maybe? Give her, let's go, ship it. And there you go. It does not work. But there it is. 76 is coming in. And there it is, Randy. We get the 77s. And there it goes through 80s and some. Oh, we actually got the 77s before. There it goes straight through now into 81. Let's put another offer right there. Neil, we did it again on Rigetti right there. So far today, Palantir banger, PayPal banger, Rigetti banger. It's a 3 for 3 kind of day. Salute to you and to my partner to the right over here.
Cheers.
Mr. Neil Roberts.
Cheers, everybody. And look, I see a lot of names in the chat that we haven't really gotten to that are absolutely rolling. It is 10:40. We're going to go to Darren in a quick little second, but there could be round 2 here on PayPal. If there was a seller that broke at 81 before, I like support turning into resistance and vice versa. Well, they broke and got to VWAP. Why can't it hold and go right back into VWAP? So I'm looking for that 81 where, like I said, somebody was holding the offer for an hour. Was that really an hour? Like 40 minutes. If we can bounce on the north side of it, we'll take another long trade in PayPal. And I know PayPal's down 10% today, but I mean, it has been a really good stock. I just wanted to give it its due. It's down. This is not Merck down 10%. PayPal was trending really, really well to the upside. As all the fintechs named were looking really, really good. So I did want to respect that. NVIDIA, before we go to just last one, NVIDIA is now, I just saw it break underneath 120. It's pulling back into VWAP in that 119 entry that we had. So this could give an entry relatively soon. I guess Apple just doesn't want to revert. Let's go to Adara. Maybe we'll be at VWAP on NVIDIA by the time we get back.
This sector board is fascinating because you can really tell here one side of this board looks distinctly different than the other. And of course, it's going to be this tech-heavy side. Technology services, Meta, Google, and Microsoft all to the upside. Netflix to the upside, actually trading above $1,000 intraday for the first time ever. If you're looking here on the electronic technology side of things, also a great look. NVIDIA up quite significantly, as is Apple, as is Broadcom. So lots of strength here in these tech names. Retail trade following suit as well. Amazon sharply to the upside, bringing Costco and Walmart along with it. Tesla and consumer durables stronger after a little bit of tariff-related weakness. Speaking of tariffs, energy minerals very strong today as well here. We know they're going to be on watch as we have some tariffs on oil to be concerned about here as well, and gas. Now, finance a little bit mixed here. Health technology a bit mixed. Merck, of course, down 10% on earnings. But then we have a little bit of weakness. Consumer non-durables down here with Pepsi down 4% on its earnings report. Commercial services as PayPal dragging it down on earnings, but otherwise pretty flat. Utilities pretty red, and health services pretty red. But transportation here, Uber, bringing this group to the upside. Back to you.
Rigetti, we get it. It is.
Another one.
Palantir.
Another one.
PayPal.
Another one.
Rigetti. Neil, it's another one. Another move to the upside there, going 3 for 3, and pretty good. You know, like I said, we'll just talk about those trades. And again, we're getting a little bit more out here on Palantir for $1.50. It's $1 in the money on PayPal. I just took another piece out right there. And then Rigetti has just gone right there too. A big level. I think P&L number 3. I can check right there. But I think Rigetti, Palantir would be, your number 1. Yeah, so there goes Rigetti right there into the second best name on the day there. So a nice move up into the 50-period moving average. Let's see if it can hold. Now Rigetti right there trying to go higher. So again, thanks to everybody in the chat, as we always say, like, thanks for pointing this out to us. It's Rigetti, and it's a blast. And again, so far we've traded 3 names. We're 3 for 3. And if you look on the sticky note today, and I'm just trying to help everybody out. We have Rigetti, PayPal, and Palantir all on here. So if you're ever looking for some trade ideas, please check it out at Trader TV. Sean, the sticky note's been really a popular thing, and I'm really happy that there's a lot of you looking at it every single day. As there it goes now, another $1.70 here for Palantir. And I say another $1.70 for Palantir because that is what it is. This is the biggest trade of the day right there. Then we reloaded it. I mean, what a reload that was. And then what a back-to-back reloads here, although that one we got out, and then we had to buy it back, and then that reload happened like Christmas gift all over again at 103.50. Nice upside move right into the 50 period. So potentially getting a little bit of weakness here into PLTR now, as it is having a problem staying above this 50 period moving average. So when we hear that, we just offer. So right now I'm offering, there it is, 105.07. So when that came up and hit me, I get the rebate for that. So it's a free trade, and I'll get paid a little bit to do that. So so far so good over here. How's your day been going?
Well, it's up. It is what it is, right? Like I like to say that, but it's always about the next trade. So I got to slap the fail of not being fast enough here on Apple. Apple
up there? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it obviously made the reversion. It broke prior bar low. That's my entry point. You hold that trend line. Obviously, we're missing a bit of data there, but broke here at 213.10. I punched underneath. Obviously, didn't actually hit it. Just threw the order in there and didn't get the fill. I'm leaving it in. See if I can get swept up here at 231 change. And then give it to the prior bar high there on Apple for that mean reversion. You never know. It can always come right back in. I don't want to chase it to the downside. At this time of day, you want to be a little bit patient. The morning rush a lot of times is going to give you the goods. Like obviously it did on Palantir a couple of times in here. And if we can get back, I still like VWAP.
Stupid.
I've tried to clear out this candle a couple of times. It's just been a
volume one.
It's been a little problematic, so I'm just going to zoom in every single time we go ahead and see it. But I don't want to break the execution rules. At the open, I don't mind that dive back in the level, sit on the bid. But when it comes a little bit later on in the day, like I want to have these kind of clean moves. And I wasn't chasing it. It was another one of those patented trend break the prior bar in here, but I missed that punch and it all got all the way up to like 105 on the first candle. So we are in Apple. Leave it in instead of chase it. If I chase that move, I'm short 30 cents lower and risking twice as much on that trade, which to me blows up the entirety of the risk to reward, because I want to give it to the prior bar high and then see if we can't play it back into the 230 level. So very, very particular entry strategy for me on that one. And that's part of that is, well, if you look at that strategy when it wins, when it doesn't win, you don't want to lose too much relative to your wins. And that'll cause you some trouble. Like if I lose this trade, it'll be a seventh of what Palantir can make me. It'll be relatively reasonable because we stuck to our plan. And if you give it twice the loss, that's an execution that's not going to look any good. And I think you have to have better executions when you're going against the grain. So just give an idea of why we didn't want to chase that one. Where is VWAP on my NVIDIA chart? 119, beer producer. And here it is. I'll leave Apple up because it's going to try to run this stop right now. But I have VWAP on NVIDIA down at 119. It's not there yet, but that's the last time we bought it, and I'm waiting for it to get back and retest that low there.
No, hold on.
Okay.
Oh, with Mendel, that's okay. He can wait a second.
Yeah,
just look at this right here. Rigetti right now. Huge upside move there into $14, of course. There it goes. It is Rigetti. It is the face slapper right now. We are on one right now. And I want to thank Mr. Jeffrey Mendel for allowing me the opportunity to talk a little bit about Rigetti. Mr. Mendel, how are you, my friend? Here we go. From the OTC markets, the ever handsome, the always smiling, it is Jeff Mendel. Jeff, we're having a pretty good day over here. We've been running 3 for 3. We've been really hitting the volatility in these markets. Pretty good. How's your day been going? What's going on over there at OTC?
You should be concentrating more on trading then if you're 3 for 3.
The problem is they asked me to host. You know, that's why I got to pass over to Neil. We do a good job here, back and forth. And I've offered the hosting job to you. You know that, but you have bigger fish to fry. And I'm hoping we can talk a little bit about Moon.
Yes.
We could talk about whatever you would like, Jeffrey. So I pass over the mic that you so much covet over to Jeff Mendel.
Moon ATS, it is live now. So we actually turned on a handful of symbols last week. We had a few trades go off, so people are in there. Getting their feet wet and kind of kicking things off. So I think throughout the month, February, we're going to slowly or quickly ramp up to all listed securities on there. So definitely stay tuned. Right, this as you guys probably know, a lot of you trade on Blue Ocean, which is the 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. ATS out there that's right now. And so Moon is going to come out and complement what they've already been doing, offer you some more options, another venue to trade on. And it's pretty exciting times.
Can you let us know, Jeff, maybe what some of the symbols, was there a symbol that maybe had the highest volume the last couple of days since you've turned it on? Anything about liquidity?
So we had SPY, Tesla, NVIDIA, TQQQ, SQQQ, Yin, and Yang, and then Chow as well too, CHAU. So we had a few names up there, and looking to add some more as well. So most activity was probably in the SPY, but then we had a bunch of activity going on in the other ones as well too. But so it's only going to go up from here too.
You want to?
Yeah, and that's fantastic. That's what everyone wants to see. Right in the heart of earnings season here. Obviously, I know you've got this this rollout. Is there a timeline for when you'll add the next round of symbols? And I know, obviously, when you have moves like we saw in Palantir, the ability now to capture those types of moves in extended trading when we can see what does happen on these big blowouts. The big deal, of course, also you can trade some of the ADRs when they trade in Asia. Do you have a timeline specifically for the next round of symbols and what that might look like?
So I think we'll probably add some more symbols this week as more participants actually come in to connect, because there's a whole certification process and people have to go through testing and connecting up and everything like that, and also get the market data as well too. And so we'll have another round of people kind of completing that up and getting connected into the actual Moon production environment. I'd say end of this week, into next week, definitely coming out of President's Day weekend. So all in the next week and a half, some more names added. Probably by the end of this week, some more the following. Just kind of it's a daily kind of update. So we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop as we add more.
In terms of just the regular flow that we're likely to see, any names standing out today? I know obviously we're talking about, Moon, the ability to trade overnight, but, let's not forget that you still have a lot of movement going on in the OTC markets in a general sense. Any names sticking out this week? We've seen a lot of action with Fannie and Freddie previously. We know some of the names like LK and Luckin Coffee's moved around. Anything standing out for you today?
Okay, so now back to like our regularly scheduled program here. Lots of movement still in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So that's FNMA and FMCC. Fannie Mae, FNMA is up over 5% today. So it's up 30 cents. It's trading at $5.45. It's still all over the place. A very active name. For people that have actually been around for a few years who are out there trading, they probably remember this name. What was it, 15 years ago or 10, 15 years ago, always super active. So, I don't know if we're quite up to that level, but still a ton of activity around, talks of privatization of the programs out of the new Trump administration. So definitely going to be something that's going to keep moving around, I think, for the foreseeable future. Luckin Coffee, up 5% today. It's trading at $29.55. It's the bid right now. So it's LKNCY, Luckin Coffee. So another great one to look at today. Said, wow, both names up 5%. Hey, let's see what else we have here. Let's check out Didi right now. Didi's down 2% or 1.5%. DIDIY. So another good name. And all of these ones that I mentioned are all trading around. This one's just under $5, but all trading around that $5 level. So I don't know what you guys see, but when there's something that's up and down that much around that price level, it's with the type of liquidity that's in there, definitely something to keep an eye out for you traders.
Yeah, like as you sort of said there, FNMA was up, like it was actually up almost 7%. So there is a lot of movement. Like it went 5 up to 7%, now back to 5% to the upside. And that's the thing. Like, there's lots of volatility. There's lots of opportunities to trade at OTC. Look, we're going to remain excited, especially in earnings season, especially in this new environment where overnight anything can hit. And the reality is, it's not just about earnings overseas. It's about the regular names that we might trade here, whether it's, at some point you could be getting some of the autos on and there could be more tariff headlines, and then it's an ability to express those trades with Moon. So we're pretty excited for it. Can't wait to be able to trade that on the platform. I actually know a lot of traders here at Real Trading that are really thankful that you guys have brought this to market so that they have more opportunities to frankly make money outside of regular session.
Yeah, look at and then back to the regular session again. TCEHY, it's up 4% today. So Tencent, one of the largest companies in the world. TCEHY up 4% on some decent volume. So, just some more stuff to kind of look at. And you guys always bring it up too. There's always the current market page on our website. So you guys go and check out what's moving around, what's trading in the OTC market, and I know we're talking, a lot about the listed names overnight as well too, but we're also, we also have OTC overnight that we're in the process of rolling out there as well too. And so, when all said and done, it's going to be over 20,000, securities that you're going to be able to trade across our platforms, from the 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. time frame. And so, yeah, lots of stuff kind of to look up to.
Yeah, and once again, thank you so much for coming on through. I have to give you a little bit of a last second dig here, because the Cowboys don't seem to have a very good plan, and I just want to. I'm sad, so I like to gloat on where I can. Obviously, my Bills can't really say anything, but maybe you guys could go out and get Cooper Kupp, because I hear he's available. So that second wide receiver that you guys have been looking for, I'm sure an older, on the downside of his career player that Jerry can try to retread is going to be perfect for your boys there. Do
you think that Brian Schottenheimer is going to be able to handle the heat down in Texas, down in Dallas specifically, though? What do you think?
No. It takes to be honest, let's be real, this. It takes a lot. Jerry Jones is a different type of owner. And there's certain, you need a certain type of head coach that can make it work down there in Dallas. And I'm not sure you guys have found the answer. I'm also pretty skeptical in the first place of the Cowboys in a general sense.
I am too, which is sad and pathetic. But we'll see. Listen, I don't know. I think we got a head coach that suits Jerry Jones, not a head coach that suits the fans. So I guess we'll see. But could be worse. It could be the Bills. Well, going to AFC Championship games, I didn't see you guys in the NFC Championship game, but all in good fun as always, Jeff. No, the bigger story is look out for more symbols from OTC Moon, the ability to trade aftermarket when any headline can come from Trump or when you have earnings as well. Thank you so much, Jeff. We really look forward to future updates coming from you. Awesome, guys. Thank you again.
Thank you. You can always come over to the Packers. All right, see you. All right, thank you, Mr. Jeff Mendel. Look, while we had Jeff Mendel on, this is some of the stuff that was happening. Thanks, Jeff. We're going to go check it out. Rigetti, man. So far today, 3 for 3. It's been a monster day here. We just bought some Rigetti down there at 1360, Sharif. 1360 long Rigetti, up to 1420. We get a lot of hype here when Sharif comes back, so I appreciate that. Thank you, Sharif. We're also $2.50 in the money on Palantir. As that goes, we're still $1 in the money on PayPal as well. So all the trades that we've been having on board here today, pretty decent. And again, some good ideas, right? Whether or not they were winning trades or not. NVIDIA continues to make, Apple's making some moves now as well.
So I just covered my Apple. There was just an announcement on Apple. I punched out when I heard this. So we shorted Apple at 231.13. It just went 50 cents in the money. I was taking one out there, but then I punched the rest out. I didn't catch the actual headline. We were talking to Jeff, but I did hear that just now on Apple. There was something about, anyway, I'm not going to speculate. We'll get you guys the actual.
Apple went down 40 cents.
No, I was already in that trade.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
I just punched out in case it was good news.
Right.
In case it was good news. It was a mean reversion trade, so I was shorting it into an up move. So we'll take the win and move on. But it is already 11 o'clock. We're going to be back for you guys at 2, as always. But for now, we've got the Bash Brothers. We've got Sharif. We've got Joey Options, the Playmaker, which I'm sure is going to be another long today because the market is only going up.
Congrats, everybody.
Boom! What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade During the Midday. That is your boy Joey Options, and I'm Sharif. And we're going to wait for everyone to come on.